Hey, what's up, everybody? Dread here. Been a little while since I've done a video, but what better way to get back into it than making a new metal tier list? We got the bands from the 90s, the 2000s. We got a couple modern era bands, not a ton, but some. So why don't we jump right into this? So before we get into the actual list, we do need to lay down some ground rules and some criteria here for where are these bands going to end up in this list. A couple of things I've been thinking of. For the first thing, the most important thing is the quality of the band's music. So we're talking about albums, the songs, how consistent is the band? Has the material aged well? I think that's a very important thing, the most important of all. So we'll be using that. Second thing I was thinking of is the influence. Did they change the game of new metal or honestly music in general? Because some of these bands have done that. Have any bands try to copy them later on? New metal is infamous for bands kind of being cookie cutter copycats, unfortunately. So that will be something that we'll be factoring in here. Are the bands innovators? Have they done something nobody else has done? That could be present day, maybe. I don't think there is anyone on this list that present day has, but old bands, they were the first to do this, or a particular style of music, whatever it is. The third thing that I have here would be popularity. I think that speaks for itself. As the band sold really well, because there are definitely some drastic freaking differences in the sales just looking at this here. The bands that we have, they range all over the freaking place with that. The streams, you go on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, what do they have? Because that's kind of the present, that's more of the present day measuring metric than, you know, uh, physical album sales anymore, because unfortunately, people don't really buy CDs that much anymore. Have they had an impact in culture? As funny as that is to say, there are bands here who have definitely done that. Have they had like a big current event or like a big moment in history that's like headline worthy? Have they shaped maybe fashion, or have they had a big moment in like a movie or cinema or like a soundtrack for one of those or something like that? Some of these bands actually have done a lot to influence culture. Another thing, are they like a household name? Can I go down the street and say, does this person know this band? Like, hey, dude, do you know this? I think some are definitely more recognizable than others. The fourth thing here, this is my list. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So my opinion is going to uh, have some weight to it as well. Do I like the band? Do I not? Honestly, it's as simple as that. Another thing that I'm not super crazy on, but I think this might be more of like a tiebreaker thing, is the longevity. Have they been around a while? Are they still kicking it? But that's not the most important thing in the world. So we'll say that probably is like a tiebreaker type of thing. If I'm on the you know cusp of putting one in one tier and one in the other. Anyway, another little thing that I'm going to say is kind of like bonus points for the band. It's not going to hurt anybody. Is, have I seen the band live and were they good? Because I have seen a couple bands on this list live, believe it or not. I am only ranking the bands based upon their new metal material, because a lot of these bands have changed styles, or maybe started as a new metal band, they're not anymore, or maybe turned into one later on. This is only strictly for the new metal material. Or I forget, the tiers are pretty basic how we're going to do this. You got your S, your A, your B, your C, and your D. Your S is gonna be probably like your fucking like your legendary bands, your really successful bands, really good ones. The heavy, like the real heavyweights of the division or the genre. We'll call them the new division anyway. Like your Mount Rushmores or your Hall of Fames, whatever you want to call it. Those are your big ones. Your A is gonna be like right below that. It's like, man, maybe in one world or another, like I could see them going up to S. You're really good bands. You're still really popular, or they got a lot of talent, whatever that may be. B's gonna be like, all right, they're pretty good. Like they had some success, maybe. Like I like them, whatever. C is like more of average, mixed bag, or I just don't really have much of an opinion either way. And then D is pretty much reserved for like, I don't fucking like this band. Simple as that. All right, now that we got that out of the way, we are going to jump right into the list, starting with Adema. They should have just called these guys Ademidma. That's really shitty. But they're mid as fuck, in all honesty. I actually reviewed their self-titled album, or debut album, whichever you want to call it. Yeah, mid as fuck. They are very cliche. I think the only real reason this band got anywhere, because they did do okay on terms of sales, was because the singer of this band, or the first singer, I believe they switched to a different guy later on, was the younger brother, or half brother, I don't remember which, of Jonathan Davis, the singer of Korn. So yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about them. They did okay, but I don't think you're going to know who this band is unless you know the new metal genre. They didn't get that much success. I don't know anyone that listens to them. They're not freaking popular. Like I said, their first album did okay. I think they got a gold certification from the the RIAA in the US, which is 500,000 album sales, which is pretty good. Like I said, I have a lot to say about them. I don't even think they're making music anymore. I think that this band's non-nu metal stuff is better than their nu metal stuff. Like the song Planets, which is more of a, I'd say, post-grungy song, is actually pretty fucking good. But their nu metal material is fucking cliche and boring as hell. Some of the lyrics are fucking atrocious on the first album as well. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lyric that goes something along the lines of, like, everything my mom said made me sad, and everything my dad said made me mad. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cringe. I don't want to hear that, and I don't think anybody else does. So, we're gonna say, I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're just fucking boring, and they didn't really do much of anything. I will go C. C's a good spot. Like I said, they're not bad. They're not good. Nobody is going to remember them. They haven't remembered them. That's a good spot for them. Next up, we have Alien Ant Farm. So, they did okay. The first album that they released, called Anthology, went platinum in the US, which is good. That's like, I think, 1,000,000 copies sold. So that's pretty damn good, you know. They got some success. When I listened to this band for the first time, I had heard their cover of Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson, which is a very good cover. And I noted that the band doesn't seem to take themselves too seriously, which is a really good thing in nu metal because, as those of you watching probably know, a lot of these bands, they don't really have the self-awareness, so it is refreshing to see that. I mean, the band is freaking called Alien Ant Farm, for fuck's sake, so, you know, that's a good sign. Another thing that I noticed is they got a little bit of a pop punk vibe to them as well, but their singer, while having a little bit of a pop punk voice, it's not annoying, it's not whiny, it's not that, like, fucking nails on a chalkboard, really overly nasally pop punk fucking singing that, you know, a lot of these bands have. I personally have never cared for that style. I'm sure some people here probably do. I don't like it, so this was refreshing to hear. They dabble in, like, some other styles of music too. I was getting, like, minor, like, reggae vibes when I listened to their album Anthology, like a little bit there, maybe some ska stuff too. They remind me of Incubus, actually, like Make Yourself Incubus and Morning View Incubus a little bit, with a little bit more of a nu metal tinge than Incubus. But that's always a good thing because I don't want to get into spoilers here. I like Incubus, so good stuff. I was expecting them to be a one-hit wonder type of nu metal band because I know their Smooth Criminal cover did pretty well and was pretty popular. So I was pleasantly surprised when I listened to their other material to see that they're actually pretty solid and they've got some good, you know, interesting stuff going for them. Yeah, I would recommend the first album, Anthology. It's good. Another thing that I like is the lyrics are almost at times kind of goofy. Like, they're not the typical, you know, I'm pissed off at the world, you know, I'm depressed, you know, my parents hate me bullshit that a lot of these bands have, and they don't do in the best way either. So that was very refreshing. They got a couple of good songs off the top of my head. They got that cover of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. Uh, Another song called Movies. There's a song called Attitude that's more somber, but it's pretty good. Flesh and Bone. That's just off the top of my head. I mean, I don't think anyone's probably going to know this band, just like Adema, unless they're already in the genre, or if they've heard the Smooth Criminal cover on the radio, because I know that they still play that to this day. It is a damn good cover, by the way. I would recommend it, like I said. I like the band, honestly. I wasn't thinking I was going to, like I said. I'm like, they're probably another cookie cutter, bullshit and piss away throwaway band. No, they're solid. I was surprised. I'm going to put them in B for that. Yeah, we'll go B. We'll go B. I don't think I can put them higher than that. They're not monumentally successful. I don't think they're good enough to throw up there. But like I said, they're still good. They're a little bit different. I really appreciate the self-awareness that they have. So I think B is a good spot for them. I would recommend this band. Next up is American Head Charge. These guys are probably one of the heavier, darker bands on the list. They have an album called The Feeding that's really kick-ass. I really like. The thing that stood out to me about them was the singer's voice. I forget the dude's name. I think it's Cameron something. He has a very eerie, unsettling voice that fits the music really well, and I always really liked. The music that they have is like I said, heavier, aggressive, chaotic, very dark atmosphere compared to a lot of these bands. They're never going to be probably one of the biggest bands. They definitely aren't right now. I don't think they had a ton of commercial success. I think they only have like maybe 2 or 3 albums. I think a couple of the band members died, unfortunately, too, so that's not, they're probably not going to get back together, which is a shame because they were fucking good. I think they are underrated, and I do think they deserve a little bit more recognition, but I don't have a ton to say about them. They're not very popular. You probably don't, again, like these 2 bands here, I don't think anyone's going to know who these guys are if they aren't in the new metal community, so we will go, they are good, so we'll go B. They're a good band. Not super popular, but good band. Put them in B. We have a controversial band up next in Clawfinger. Also, I believe our only Swedish band on this list. So Clawfinger was actually one of the first bands to come up with the rap and metal combination thing. Not new metal, because the two are a little bit different, but the combination of rap and metal. I believe they came out in '89, actually, so they're one of the older bands on this list. They might actually be the oldest now. I'm just looking at it, but yeah, definitely one of the older bands on the list. They were pretty popular in Sweden, not so much here in the States. They're a political band. They have a lot of stuff talking about racism and war and religion, and they actually have a song, one of their biggest songs, called, I can't say it, we'll say the gamer word. I hope you can figure out what that means, but it is literally titled that, and it is a anti-racist anthem, basically. Solid song. They have a couple of good songs just off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've listened to them. A song called Two Sides that has like a little bit of Middle Eastern influence in that I always really liked. I think their biggest song is called Biggest and the Best, which I heard on a YouTube compilation a long time ago of Dolph Lundgren fight scenes. Yes, the actor. And Dolph Lundgren's a big dude. It fits him pretty well. That's the first time I'd ever heard of the band, and I was like, "What is this? I gotta check this out." And I've liked them ever since. I don't have a ton to say about them. They are a Swedish nu metal group, so that's kind of unique because I don't think anyone else in here is. They do have, like I said, they're one of the first bands to do the rap metal combination, so that is very influential. They're not super popular in the States. I don't know anyone actually that knows this band other than myself, in all honesty. We will go. They're going to go B as well. There's going to be a lot of freaking Bs, I think. I don't know. Because I'd put them along there. Yeah, they're a good band. They've got some good material. But they're not anything crazy. And the fact that they kind of pioneered a genre is also really, really cool. I almost want to bump them an A for it, but I don't think to put them there. Yeah, B is a good spot for them. Clawfinger's good. If you haven't heard them, this is probably one of the more unknown bands on this list just for the fact that they're not very popular here in the States. You should check them out. They are very good. Oh boy, people are going to be throwing virtual stones at me and trying to virtually end me in Minecraft because I cannot fucking stand this fucking band, Coal Chamber. Loco. No, shut up. You sound fucking stupid. This band's garbage, dude. I do not understand why people like them so much. So I will give them the fact that they were one of the first bands to do new metal, and their first album did okay. But I don't think it's enough to fucking put them up in any other tier. They're garbage, dude. Like, once you've heard this fucking band, you've heard like every new metal band. There's nothing special about them. They're just cookie cutter bullshit, and they came out earlier than everyone else. So they got a little bit of success. That's about it. Seriously, that's why they have any fucking following, because they're not fucking good at all. This fucking singer sounds like the Cookie Monster, and not like his vocals suck. The music's fucking generic. The songs are all stupid. No, they can sit down there and be fuck that band. Sorry guys, but fuck them. It's my list. I don't fucking like them. They're sitting in D. You big girl. You big girl. Stupid band. This band fucking sucks. Cold sucks. Same shit as Cold Chamber. Uninspired, mediocre. You've heard this shit by a bunch of other bands. They didn't get as lucky as Cold Chamber, and they didn't come out as early as they did, so they can't really be like, oh, we were one of the first ones to do it. They don't have that. They suck. They're boring. They're one of the copycat new metal bands. Like, I don't have anything fucking nice to say about them. They're boring. They're going in D. Crossfade is next. So, I heard Cold on the radio from this band, and I thought, man, I don't know about this. This is kind of like fucking generic radio rocky shit. But I listened to their debut album, Crossfade, and I was pleasantly surprised. Granted, it's pretty, radio friendly, safe, kind of generic-y, new metal-y, hard rock, because they're kind of like a mesh of the two, I would say. Really, their first album, I think, counts as new metal, but like, it was solid. I'll admit it. It was solid. The first track off the album, Starless, is pretty kick-ass, just off the top of my head. Yeah, I remember. I remember enjoying it. They had a couple of singles off it, I think, that did pretty well on the radio. So Far Away and Colors, I think, were the other two. I remember those both being good. I was hooked on Colors when I was younger. Colors is very good. The album has sold 1 million copies in the U.S., so they did pretty solid. Not a whole lot to talk about them. They're kind of just safe radio rocky new metal-y stuff. I think B's appropriate for them. We'll put them there. We have a heavy hitter up next with the Deftones. Man, where can I fucking start? So the Deftones will always hold a special little place in my heart because they are the first band I've ever seen live, believe it or not. This is exactly 10 years ago in 2016, I got to see these guys, and they kicked ass. So they're going to get a bonus point for that, even though, honestly, they don't really fucking need it. They're the Deftones. They were one of the first bands to do new metal. In fact, I think there's people that would even argue that they did it before Korn. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever. They have Adrenaline, which was their debut album, which is definitely pretty, bare bones new metal. Had really rough production on it. That's a good album, though. Their second album was also a new metal album, although that's when they started pulling away a little bit, called Around the Fur. Around the Fur is genuinely like one of the best fucking new metal albums ever. I think it's one of the best albums, period. That album is just fucking perfection. It's super, it's got aggression to it, but it's still got beautiful melodies and that atmospheric feeling that the Deftones have. They don't have the stupid cliche lyrics that a lot of the other bands did. That's what separated them. They always meshed into different styles. Oh boy, there's just so much I could say about them. I could talk all fucking video about them. After Around the Fur, they moved to White Pony, which is where I would say they probably started really distancing from the new metal movement and all of. I still think it's still pretty new metal in my opinion overall. That album did well, as Around the Fur did, Adrenaline, all of them did well. This band, I don't know how. They're one of the bands that has only gotten more popular with time, which is fucking crazy. Like, they have blown the fuck up on TikTok, from my understanding. I do not use TikTok. I've heard from people and just seeing online, and this band was given like a whole new fucking life with it. Not that they're on life support anyway. They've always been, they've always had fans. But their songs are fucking massive now. I think, like, I forget which one it is. I should have looked it up. Dude, they have like 4 or 5 songs, I think, that are in like the multi-platinum range, which is like 1 million to like multi-million sales. Like, they're not in any fucking trouble. They are massive now. They're a huge band now. They have sold out, I think, Madison Square Garden, I want to say, which is fucking crazy. Like, they're going S. There's no fucking questions asked. They've got everything checked. They're very popular. They've sold well. Their music has aged well, like I said. They have gotten more fans. Granted, they're not really a new metal band anymore. They've kind of changed styles to more of like a, I don't know what you even call it, like an experimental alternative metal, shoegazy type of thing, I think's the closest thing. They'll still dabble in it from time to time. They got a song on Diamond Eyes. Granted, that was made in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, or 10. It's one of the two. It's a little old, but I remember there's a song called Command Control that's, like, I'd say a pretty new metal song. And it's not like it doesn't pop out here and there, but they're not really new metal anymore. Yeah, they got a shitload of streams. I still like them. I don't listen to them as much as I used to, I'll admit it. Around the Fur, I'll still go back to because it's a great fucking album. I mean, I think they have Max Cavalier, excuse me, from Sepultura and Soulfly, we'll talk about later, on a song called Head Up in that album too. So I guess if we're gonna count, new metal guest, we got another one there. I mean, this band's the real fucking deal. Yeah, even if I didn't see them live, I'd still put them in S. They're one of the fucking the Godfathers, one of the fucking, like, you could probably make an argument if you wanted to make a Mount Rushmore or a Big Four. You could probably throw them on there if you wanted. I don't think anybody would bat an eye. Yeah, they're a fucking fantastic band. They rightfully are the first S tier band on this list, and yeah, they're fucking fantastic. I got nothing bad to say about them. Oh, we might have an upset here next with Design 19, who I am sure many of you do not know. And hopefully you change that after this, because they are a damn fine band. So, I have a special place for this band as well, because this was the very first review that I ever did. Was their one and only album called Trigger. Phenomenal album, by the way. If you like the new metal style of Deftones, that is basically what Design 19 was. They're very, very similar to that, to the point of where some of their songs almost sound like rip-offs. That's okay, they're well done. The main difference between them and Deftones is I believe they have a guy on keyboards in that band. So they sound a little bit different. They are from Finland, I believe, as well. So that is a little bit unique. I actually had the bassist comment on my review, which was a pleasant surprise. I've never had any band members or anything ever interact with me of any sort. So that is extremely cool. I believe, quick, I am probably going to butcher this, but Mika Hacky, he was nice enough to comment on my review and thank me for doing it. It does not sound like they're going to make any more material, which sucks, because they are a huge, like what if band in my book, because they've only had an album and, like, I think a song called Beetle Wings on Spotify. But they've been getting a lot more traction on Spotify. I think the whole new metal resurgence has benefited them, and I hope it continues to, and that they make another band, or excuse me, another album at some point, or maybe, I don't know, come do some freaking tours in the US or something. I would gladly see them. So they are wonderful. Their style, as they would describe it, is dark pop, I believe is what they call their style. And if you listen to it, you can kind of hear it. Like I said, it's kind of Deftones-y with some keyboards and some weird stuff in there, but they're really cool. They don't have, like, there was next to no information on them up until they started getting a little bit more popular over the past year or two. So, like, I don't even know sales-wise. I can't imagine they were that good. Unfortunately, I don't know about even in their own country. Like, I can't find the album of theirs, like, anywhere. They just started putting some t-shirts on a website. If you go to their Instagram page, you can see that on there. So they just got, like, a little resurgence, because they were not big before. Now they've got actually a couple million streams on some of their songs on Spotify, and I don't think before, like, when I did the album review, I think they were in, like, maybe 200,000 tops, so they really freaking, like, jumped up there. And I hope that they continue to do so, because they're wonderful. They're fantastic. Yeah, so I can't really give them anything on the sales there. Obviously, haven't seen them live. I don't know anybody that knows this band other than me, or anyone that I told them about it, because I'm like, yo, you guys got to check this band out. They're freaking amazing. Ah, man. They have probably the lowest amount of sales on anybody on this list, and they're probably the most obscure band. I hate to say it. Their music's fucking good. Like, very fucking good. So I think they are going to be the first band in A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because yeah, they're better than the bands in B by a good margin. I don't know if they're quite on Deftones level. They're damn close. So that's as high as I think I could put a band that really doesn't have a whole lot of success or anything like that. The only reason I found out who they were is because I was doing the New Metal Agenda's reviews. If you guys know, New Metal Agenda is they're like a podcast about new metal. Check them out. And they had this on their list. This was literally the 100th album on the list out of 100. They're dead last, but at least they made the list. It was the only exposure I had to this band, but they were really fucking good. So you should definitely do yourself a favor and check them out. If you want to check my review out, if you're not sure, you can do that too. Always take it, but yeah, I think they're gonna be the first A tier band that I use. I can't put them in S. They just don't have the popularity or the success to do it. But still, A is a good fucking place for a band that really doesn't have a whole lot going on per se. But anyways, oh wow, that was probably really fucking bad. Anyway, Disturbed is next. I don't really like Disturbed's new metal stuff that much. Stupefy is like okay, even though there's really weird, shitty rapping in the beginning of it. Prayer was a kind of cool song too, but that's like about it. I really don't think their new metal shit's that good. David, what's his name, Dearman or whatever his name is, his voice is kind of unique. It's like very percussive and like kind of, he has a very, I don't want to say operatic, but it's like very, yeah, I guess percussive would be the word. Although I feel like once you hear it a couple times, it gets old pretty quick. It's kind of his shtick. I think that Disturbed's non-new metal stuff, which is like the bulk of their career, like I think maybe they have their first 2 albums are new metal, everything else is not. That's really it. Like 10,000 Fists is not a new metal album in my opinion. I thought that was like the best stuff they did, and then the one I think after that, I want to say it's called is it the Asylum? The one that has the animal on it. Like I think that one was okay. Like I'm not a big Disturbed fan to begin with. To me, I always thought Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch were kind of like the metal bands for NPCs. I know someone's gonna get mad at me for saying that. Fuck you, it's my list. Anyway, not a huge fan. I can't deny how big they are. My god, they sell out stadiums. They have tons of fucking massive hit songs. Down with the Sickness is, I think, like an 8 times or 9 times platinum song, which is huge. Stupefy, I think, is pretty popular too. Like their new metal stuff is big. It's popular. The first album they had, I think, is like a multi-platinum album. I want to say like 5 or 6. Believe I think is at least 2. It might even be 3 multi. Like they're popular. A lot of their songs are certified. I mean they have tons of hits. It's just that we're ranking the new metal stuff. While the new metal stuff is popular, like I can't put it in D because of how popular it is. I don't really like it, and ultimately, my opinion is going to have some weight here. So, yeah, I was going to say D for Disturbed. Nah, I won't do that. Another thing that I'll give Disturbed, like I said, they're kind of I don't know what you want to call it. I don't like using the word normie. I think that's fucking weird. Yeah, well, we'll say the NPC band, right? It's an NPC band. Everyone knows who Disturbed is, I think, for the most part. They're a very popular band. People that don't know rock or metal have heard of them. And that one cover that they had, what is it, The Sound of Silence, I think made it onto like regular radio, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, well, if I'm gonna weight their popularity, I feel like I should have put them in B. But like I just never, even as a kid, I never really liked Down with the Sickness, the whole album, all that much. And Believe's not much better. I'm going C, man. I'm sorry, that's gonna piss people off probably. And the fact that I said they're an NPC band's probably going to trigger people, but fuck you, it's my list, brother. Sorry, I don't care for them. And, yeah, they're just very formulaic fucking, it's just radio metal, for lack of a better word. So, sorry. Dope is next, and I have no fucking feelings really whatsoever about Dope. They're very middle of the run to me. Similar to Adema, they remind me of like Marilyn Manson a little bit, with like a more new metal twist to it. Die Motherfucker Die was a kind of fun song when I was a kid. It's bouncy. I don't like, there's nothing really notable about them other than that. Like they did okay, like sales wise. I think their first album got like gold or something. Die Motherfucker Die got, I think, man, I hope I don't get fucking striked or something for saying that. It's a song titled, fucking calm down, YouTube. Anyway, I hope I don't, it's like a, what, I think like a gold or something. It's like a semi-popular song. I don't really have an opinion on them one way or another. They're going to see. Another band I really don't have a mass opinionated response for. Drowning Pool has, what, Bodies was pretty big at one point. They got that. I think the album that was on, I want to say it was called Sinner, had the fucking the hand on like the woman's face on the front. Sinner itself as a song I remember being okay. I have not listened to this band really since middle school. Like I checked their album out. To me, it's just like kind of similar to like Dope or Adema. It's just middle or run new metal for me. Like I don't hate it. I don't really particularly care for it either though. They did all right. Like they had success. I believe the singer passed away. Rest in peace. I'm pretty sure his name was Dave Williams. That's always terrible when anything like that happens, but they're fine. I'll put them in C. Time to really get some people's panties in a twist here. So Evanescence is up next, and I'm gonna be honest. I have never liked Evanescence, like ever. Period. Bring Me to Life was kind of cool when I was like 10. And what's that song? They have a song with Seether, I think, or maybe that. No, it's just a singer. My bad. Yeah, Amy Lee, the singer, she's got a solid voice. I'll give her that. But the music to me was just always super freaking bland, like generic emo gothic. Fucking like I'm dark and spooky for the sake of being dark and spooky. I never really could get into it. Here's the thing, right? This band was, I don't think they still are, but fucking massive. Just looking at the numbers here, their first album, Fallen, which to be honest is really the only new metal album I think they really made anyway, so we'll just judge that. But that was a diamond certified album in the US, which is 10 million or more copies, which is fucking massive. That's huge. I think like I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. There might be like 200, if that, 100, 200 albums ever. I think that have hit that threshold. And just looking here, I think that's gonna put them at either second or third for the highest album sale of a particular album. I think on this list. I won't spoil who's one and possibly two or three, but just looking at it, yeah, they're they're in the top three, which is insane. But the thing is like no pun intended here, but they really have fallen off. They like I don't hear anyone talking about Evanescence anymore. So I can't really say that they've even, stood the test of time. I don't really like them. I never have. To me, they've always just been a worse Lacona Coil. Lacona Coil is not new metal, by the way, but that's always what I've sounded. They've sounded like to me. Lacona Coil I actually like. I've seen them live. They're kick ass. Anyway, not new metal, but boy, I'm conflicted because while I do not fucking like them at all, if I was purely ranking this based off of my taste, they would be in D 100%. But they were fucking massive. They have not stood the test of time, though. I don't know if, as big as they are, if I went down the street and asked if somebody knew Evanescence, I don't know if they, like, yeah, they're probably more likely to know than the majority of the bands on this list, but I don't think their household, like just looking at this, Disturbed, I think because they're still popular, everyone knows. Deftones is probably up there. I don't know about Evanescence. I don't know. However, I said those album sales and Bring Me to Life got an 11 times platinum certification, which is 11 million copies or more. That's a massive fucking song. In other words, humongous song. I remember that shit being played on the radio when I was a kid, left, right, and center. I think it still pops up here and there. The thing is, I want to say C, but if I say C, I feel like I have to move Disturbed up to B. Or excuse me, if I'm going to put Evanescence in B instead of C, because I'm thinking about C, but I feel like the popularity that they had, like the fact that they have a diamond album and Bring Me to Life being 11 times platinum, I feel like I should throw them in B. Yeah, I'm going to put them in B. I have to fucking move Disturbed then, because Disturbed, while they don't have any diamond, they had big albums and they're still relevant though. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back here. I am fuck. Yep. I have to put Disturbed in C, or excuse me, in B2. I'm kind of butchering this a little bit, aren't I? I'm making up the rules as I go. No, not really. I'm just realizing that I have to be fair. So, yeah. A little bit of a change going on here. But yeah, those bands I would say overall are or at least decently comparable. We'll put them in B. I think that's fair. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what in the flying fuck is Finger 11 doing on a new metal list? Isn't that the band that wrote Paralyzer that, was overplayed on the radio for like 10 fucking years and probably still is? Yeah, about that. So, believe it or not, Finger 11 was a new metal band at one point. Their first album, they released under a different name called the Rainbow Butt Monkeys. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they did that. Yeah, that album, I think, was just like a mix of genres. It wasn't really new metal. Then there were two albums that they released after that, titled Tip, and the following one, I believe, was titled The Grayest of Blue Skies. Those albums were actually new metal albums. And there were, in my opinion, having owned The Grayest of Blue Skies when I was a kid, it was not the most memorable thing, but it was okay. Now, they did okay in their respective country, Canada. That's right, they're from fucking Canada, maybe they followed Nickelback when they changed styles, they're other Canadian, now post-grunge fucking, or I think Theory of a Dead Man's from, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that they changed styles, but they did, I guess not technically start out, but morphed into a new metal band towards the earlier years of their career. They did, yeah, like I said, they did good in Canada, which is their home country. They had gold albums in their country. Those two new albums, new metal albums I just talked about. So we'll say they had some success. The new metal stuff wasn't too big here, I don't think. Like I said, this is then again very average new metal stuff. I've never cared for the singer's voice that much. He always sounded just very weak to me. I think they do the post grunge radio rocky stuff better than they do new metal. This is a new metal list, so we're gonna rank it based off of new metal. Like I said, I don't have a ton to say. I think C is a good placement. They're not, offensively bad. They're not really good either. They had success, so yeah. There you go. You can sit and see Finger 11. We have our first modern new metal band on the list, titled Fire from the Gods. They are pretty kick ass. So, my first exposure to this band was actually seeing them live opening for, spoiler alert here, another band that is on this list, Sevendust, earlier in the year. The current singer, Mike Terry, I believe is his name, pretty fucking kick ass dude. I walked like right by him. I wish I had fucking noticed at the time and like asked for a picture or talked to him or something. There was they've gone through another singer who I believe got arrested on domestic abuse charges. Its name was AJ Shanner, which is a shame because the guy was pretty good. He had almost like a reggae tinge to his voice, something that is in some of their music. There's little bits of reggae tinging to it. Now they seem to be going down more of like a new metalcore path, if that's a thing. That's the best way I can explain it, because Mike Terry was in a metalcore band before this. I can't remember the name of them. So the two or three more newer songs that they have with this guy are metalcore songs. They are, I should say, more on the metalcore side than they are new metal. His voice just fits it a lot better. So I'm wondering if they're going to go down that route. So they do not have any albums with Mike Terry, so I don't really know how to rank that stuff. They really only have 3 songs with him. So that being said, they're a good band. You should check out their material. I've liked everything I've listened to. I've been on a kick with them. I've been just literally just putting their albums on fucking repeat and just going through them. They're very good. I think these guys, in my opinion, are probably the best modern new metal band. They do have a little bit of a radio rocky tinge to them in some of their stuff. Like they have those big choruses that are really memorable. I think they had a song that actually did decently well on modern rock charts called Right Now. That's their biggest song. that I would agree is a pretty solid song. I prefer kind of the heavier stuff that they've done with this Mike Terry guy. We'll see where it goes. They don't really have like massive success. I don't know who they were until I saw them, but they're good. I think they definitely have the potential to break out at one of these times. If they get maybe another big song, it's definitely there. They have the talent. They don't have a lot of they don't have a ton of sales. They're not monumental, but I think these guys could be a flagship, carrier here for the modern nu metal. I think they have a good chance, and I really do like them. And my opinion is pretty important because I am the one doing the fucking list. B or A? I'm almost contemplating throwing them an A because, like I said, I think the quality of their music is really, really good. They've impressed me a lot, and they were very good live too. That does give them a little bit of a bonus point there. We're gonna go A. Yeah, we'll go A. Isn't that funny? There's no bands in A that have a ton of success so far. Not to say that they aren't successful. They're still kicking it, and they have 3 albums out. They've been around, I think, 10 years now. Yeah, A. I think A is going to be where Fire from the Gods resides. If you do get the chance to check them out or go see them live, I would recommend them. They're very good. We move on to Flaw. I can't say I have a ton of opinion on Flaw. They had a couple of songs I remember liking. Only the Strong and Medicate were pretty solid. The singer, Chris Voles, reminds me of David Drummond a little bit from Disturbed, but a little bit more melodic and a little easier on the ears. He's not so grating, and in my opinion, David gets kind of grating over time. They never really reached a huge level of success or anything like that. They've always been kind of one of the more underrated, more unknown bands on the list. They're kind of part of that second wave of nu metal bands that came out in the early 2000s that, a lot of them did get kind of lost in the shuffle. There's so goddamn many of them, but I do think this was one of the more underrated bands of the list. So, I don't really have a lot of success, but I do like them. B. They're better than the bands on C, so I think we'll just put them on B. From Ashes to New is one of the more modern bands in the list, coming out around 2016. There's not really a ton that can be said about this band. They are literally just Linkin Park 2.0. Not a bad thing at all, but not exactly the most original thing either. I know a couple of their songs did well on like rock radio, but I don't think in terms of actual sales they really have a whole lot going for them. I do like them. Granted, I haven't heard a ton of their stuff, but I've heard enough I can judge it. Another band I guess that could have the potential to, carry the flag for nu metal at some point. We'll throw them in there. B, A, and we'll go B. I do like them. They're better than the bands on B or C, excuse me. And there's that potential that they could be something really big. B it is. Oh boy, we have up next the nu metal version of Alice in Chains, Godsmack. Godsmack is literally an Alice in Chains song. You didn't know. And their logo is the sun, that like sun thing. It was Alice in Chains' logo, and then the singer Sully Erna's got a pretty kind of Lane Staley-esque kind of like a mesh of that and James Hetfield from Metallica type of singing style. Yeah, Alice in Chains is a nu metal band. That's pretty much what Godsmack is. Godsmack, actually, I didn't realize this till looking it up, has had a fucking assload of commercial success. Just reading this here. They have had 3 consecutive #1 albums on the Billboard 200, which is fucking crazy. Barely any bands have done that. I think there's like maybe 10 that have. Like, not just like rock, I mean like in general. So that's fucking ridiculous. They have had 25 top 10 rock radio hits, and 12 of those being #1 on that list. So they are very successful. They have had some pretty big albums too. I actually owned the self-titled as a kid, which went 5 times platinum in the US, and then went gold in Canada. Awake, the second album of theirs, went 2 times platinum, and then platinum in Canada, also big. Now, Faceless, which is the third album, is kind of where the nu metal ends for them. Then they just become more of a, I'd say, Disturbed-esque hard rock, like modern metal type of band that you'd hear on the radio. But yeah, Faceless, platinum in the US, gold in Canada. Again, very successful. I did not realize they had this amount of success, but it makes sense. Voodoo went platinum. That's a song, the single off of their self-titled. So 1,000,000 copies sold there. I Stand Alone, which was on Faceless, and I actually forgot about this, was in the frickin' Scorpion King, the movie The Scorpion King. I'm pretty fucking sure that has The Rock in it. And then Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. That dude was phenomenal. But so yeah, they have had a little bit of culture success there too, because The Scorpion King was a fairly popular movie in the 2000s. I remember watching that shit on TV. Maybe I should watch that again. Anyway, so really only the first half of their career is new metal, but it was a very successful first half. And the fact that they had some stuff in some movies, and I think they had shit in video games too. I'm pretty confident in like one of the WWE games or one of the NFL games, they have stuff. I should research there. I did not have my homework done. Teacher, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the success is definitely there, even if we're just going to count the first half of the career, which is what we're going to do because this is a new metal list, not a fucking hard rock list. They also have their own holiday coming up on August 6th in Boston titled Godsmack Day. I don't know if any bands on this list have a fucking holiday, so I guess they can get like a quarter of a point for that. Again, popular. I think a lot of people, even people that don't know rock, I'm sure have heard the name Godsmack because they're big enough. Everyone that's in rock or new metal or anything like that has definitely heard of Godsmack. I don't really listen to them anymore. Keep Away, which is a song off the self-title, will pop in my head every once in a while and I'll listen to it. I really like the guitar in that. It's very catchy. I still think that's a solid song, actually. Just, again, I don't really go out of my way to listen to them anymore. But I don't dislike them by any means. I know a lot of people poke fun at them. I don't have an issue with them. I'm not going to go S. Like, personally, for taste, I'd put them on B, but they got a lot of fucking success. I actually underrated that success. I didn't realize they had the amount that they did. So we're going to go A for Godsmack. Now we have what might be the single most mixed bag of a band on this list. Hed PE. Where the hell do I begin? You know, I actually owned several of their albums a little bit of time ago. Like I said, very mixed bag. I like the band overall, but they're all over the place. They have, I believe, 15 studio albums. One came out last year, and I think they're working on another one. So, like, they're still going strong, if you want to call it that, because the band has not had a lot of commercial success. Spoiler alert, we'll get into that in a little bit. They've been around since '94, believe it or not. So one of the earlier bands on the list. I believe their first album, the debut self-titled Hed PE, which I actually owned, solid album by the way, came out in '97. So again, earlier band. This band has had they've gone through and made so many different kinds of music, not just new metal. They are what they consider themselves to be G-punk, which is hardcore punk and gangster rap combined. That's what they call their music. They've done way fucking more than that, to be totally honest. Um, they've done like new metal, they've done just like regular rap rock, they've done fucking reggae, they've done hardcore, they've done punk rock, they've done thrashy stuff, they've done reggae, they've done like almost like modern trappy type of stuff, they've done some electronic-y type of stuff, like soul music, they've done so much shit. It's crazy. They're a very, very, very versatile band. And a lot of that can be attributed to the lead singer, Jared Gomes, who is a fucking creative genius in my mind. The guy can do so many different styles of music and sound fucking awesome. Like, he can do just regular singing, he can do reggae style of singing, I don't know what you call that. All different kinds of metal screaming, death growling. He can rap his fucking ass off. The dude is very, very talented. Like I said, he might be the single most talented vocalist that we're going to talk about. The dude is fucking phenomenal. At the same time, he's almost his own worst enemy because Hed PE has gone through a total of, and including him, 20 different band members since they've begun. And I would imagine that's probably why they never truly took off. So I think their first album actually got them into debt with their record company because they could not pay back everything, which fucking sucks because it was a decent album, solid album. I always enjoyed it. They never would like full blown jump off of new metal. Like they never, I think, just made an album that wasn't in that at all. Everything's always dabbled in it. They have never been able to stick to a genre, and it's very difficult. Like I shouldn't say stick to a genre because they did do new metal consistently, but they're too all over the place to really get any like true success. They might add a song or two, like I think Bartender and I can't think of the name. Killing Time, I want to say, may have gotten some radio play back in the day. The other thing is their music was so vulgar at times that it probably wasn't going to get a lot of radio play anyway. Like Jared Gomes literally wrote an entire album as a middle finger to record labels because he was tired of them telling him he has to do this and that and all this other bullshit, which personally I respect the fuck out of him for. I love the fact that he just says "fuck you," I'm gonna do what I want. I think that's wonderful. That album is called "Only in America," spelled with a K, so you already know you're getting you're getting yourself into a fun time. You are of the easily offended camp. Do not listen to it. He says a lot of stuff in there that is not going to fly by a lot of people. I admire him for it personally, but to each their own. I just think that this band could have been so much if they had like a consistent lineup because the talent is there. Like I said, Jared Gomes can do so much shit, and like nobody in the band, I couldn't even tell you who's on what album. There's so fucking many of them. They're all good. It's just they were never able to take off, and I'm assuming that's probably large in part because they just probably have never had the chemistry to go anywhere, unfortunately. I mean, they have been out for a while, and they're still making music, which is crazy to me. I think Jared Gomes is literally in his 60s now. He might be the oldest dude on this list. It's fucking nuts, too. Yeah, the new metal is practically classic rock to fucking people my age now. Isn't that kind of wild? Anyway, oh man, I like Hed PE. I really do. They have some good albums. Blackout's good, like I said. The self-title's good. I like Only in America. A lot of people probably won't because of the lyrical content. I say get the fuck over it. Listen to it anyway. At least give it a shot. If you get offended enough, or you fucking start crying during it because your precious little fucking ego has been hurt, then whatever, it sucks to be you. But they have good shit. It's just they've never made anything that has been groundbreaking or really stuck out. It's just all good. So man, they're, like I said, they just don't have the success. They've always kind of been behind the rest, which sucks because I think they have all that they could have by any fucking stretch of the imagination. I'm sure they could have made it into like the S tier, or at the very least the A. The fucking talent is there, the creativity's there. I mean, where do I put them? I think Hed PE is going to go B because overall, like I said, I like the band. They're definitely an above average band. They have all the potential to move up. They just never got there, and I'm almost certain that's because they just have never had a stable lineup. And the lyrical content, because Jared Gomes does like to cuss and throw, words around I won't even say because I don't want to get fucking canceled, but he tends to do that quite often. So I'm going to go ahead and say B is a good place for Hed PE. I do actually very much so enjoy them. I'd probably put them on A if they had more success. I think B is a good spot for them. We have some Latin new metal next with El Niño. I don't have a ton to say about them. They're literally Latin new metal. They got like a separate percussionist that just plays like Latin drums, which is kind of interesting. Gives it a nice little unique spin on the new metal genre. I mean they're fine. Like I said, it's been a while since I listened to them. I liked a couple of their songs when I was younger. Now, like the other day, I kind of just went through their songs on Spotify. Nothing really stands out to me anymore. They're kind of just, I don't know if generic's the word because they do have that Latin twist, but like they're pretty basic new metal other than that. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, angst, sadness, whatever. It's very basic. I don't have strong opinions on them one way or another. I really don't. I just say check them out for yourself. See if you like them, because that Latin twist you might like. I'm gonna just say they're very average, so we're gonna go with a C. Incubus is probably gonna be one of the more controversial bands on the list, just for the fact that there's gonna be people that are gonna say that's not new metal. I say I beg to differ. I think they deserve a spot on here. Now, the first album, Fungus Among Us, is like, yeah, you might be able to make an argument that it's not. I think it's pretty borderline new metal. It's more of a funky, maybe they're trying to find their sound here, but it's like almost like a watered down Mr. Bungle type of deal that they got going on with this one. It's yeah, I don't think it holds a test of time. I don't think it's that great of an album, but like I can admire them for trying something a little bit different. Then we get to their next album, Science, which is where I think the new metal discussion really starts to begin. Because Science, I would argue, is overall a full-blown new metal album. Yet it is a more experimental new metal album that still fits. Songs such as New Skin and Redefine have complete new metal elements. You got the funky rapping, funky bass lines, heavy riffs, hip hop influences, you know, the turntable scratches, it's all there. I'm sorry, but those of you that are, well, I like this band, it can't be new metal. Sorry, man, it still kind of counts. Yeah. The rest of the album, yeah, I mean, some of it's borderline new metal. They do have some other influences on the record, like lots of funk, jazz, there's even a little bit of lounge, there's trip hop. I can't think of the name of the song at the moment. There's one that starts to get kind of thrashy, and there's different stuff going on in there, but I do think it's overall a new metal album. Now, we move on to the next album that they have called Make Yourself. It's when I would say they start moving away, but still there's enough on there I think it could count. There's still the DJ scratching. There's still down-tuned guitars. Granted, there's only one song that's got any rapping in it off the top of my head, which was Pardon Me. I would call that a new metal song. Yeah, it's groovy. Still, I think it would count. The thing that always stood out to me about Incubus, aside from the fact that they kind of have their own little unique spin on, new metal and music in general, they kind of have their own sound, is that Brandon Boyd, the singer, has got a very unique voice. He's got a kind of feminine voice. It's almost like he's like kind of over singing, but it works really well with the music. And the dude can belt. He's a very good singer. I can't think of anyone else that really has that type of style out there. But it works. On top of that, Science and Make Yourself, which are the two albums I'm gonna say are their new metal albums, were successful. Science was certified gold. Make Yourself was certified 2 times platinum. And I know Pardon Me, which is the more new metal song off of Make Yourself, I think did pretty well on the rock charts. And Drive, I'll bet that's more of an alternative song. I know that did well too. So, Incubus qualifies as new metal? I'm saying yes. It's my list. I can do what I want. So, yeah. Now, they really only have two albums in my book that would count, but they're pretty good albums. The better albums on the list. These are albums that I think, this is actually rather important, you could probably take somebody that's not a new metal guy and have them listen to it and possibly get them into new metal. It's one of those types of, it's like a good, what do you call it, beginner album per se. Science or Make Yourself. I think Make Yourself would work a lot more because it's a lot more friendly. It's very melodic, radio-friendly new metal, but it's good, and it is unique. B or A is where I'm going to say. I think Incubus is going to get an A. Now, Incubus, I forgot to mention this. Yeah, they did move into more of a kind of radio rocky style later on in their career. So we're just going to count those two albums, but I do think that they're a good band. Those are good albums. A is a good spot for them. I wouldn't put them in S because they didn't have quite the influence or the success that an S band would, but they definitely had potential to be there. I do think that there are bands coming up here that have cited Incubus as an influence, so they got some points there for being an influential band, doing something a little bit different. Oh boy, and now we have the single most controversial inclusion on this list, because it's Kid Rock, and everyone hates or loves Kid Rock because he does political stuff, and God forbid anybody have a fucking opinion in 2026. Anyhow, Kid Rock is an interesting case because another thing could be said here is people could probably argue on similar half of like Incubus that that dude ain't even new metal. I don't know. I think he is, especially the albums we're going to be talking about here. The two that are new metal in my opinion, Devil Without a Cause and like half of Cocky. But I'm just going to count Cocky as a whole, even though he kind of does the country southern stuff like for the second part of that album. Devil Without a Cause is a fucking massive album. I did not realize this either. The album has gone 11 times platinum, tying it with Fallen for the second or third, however you look at it, biggest album on this list. Fallen from Evanescence, by the way. which is freaking huge. This album was fucking massive. It sold, I want to say, 14 million copies around the world. So yeah, that's pretty goddamn big. This also is unique because the song Cowboy is credited as the first fusion of country and rap. Although it's like a country, new metal, rock rap, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. That's something that Kid Rock did on this album. So major influence points there. He's kind of started something new. I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it, I don't really listen to country that much. So it's probably a negative to some people because they're gonna be like, I don't want to hear fucking country. Yeah, whatever. He still gets points. He did something different, and the album is, like I said, fucking monumentally huge. I don't know how to pronounce the song. I've listened to it so many fucking times. Bawada Baba. It was a pretty big song. I enjoy that song. It's fucking catchy and bouncy. I Am the Bull God was also another song off of that album that I remember liking. I do like this album, by the way. It's a pretty damn good album. There's a song called Fuck Off at the end that has Eminem on it, which is kind of fucking nuts. This is before Eminem, I think, was as big as Eminem was. That was a pretty kick-ass song, a pretty in-your-face, kind of Limp Bizkit-esque song. I always liked Devil Without a Cause. I know it's Kid Rock, so everyone's gonna shit on him because, you know, we can't just fucking be grown-ups anymore, but, I dig the album. Cocky, the new metal stuff that's on there, solid. The song Cocky, is pretty damn good. The first song off the album that I can't think of the fucking name of, I'm gonna have to look this up quick. Okay, Trucker Anthem, I remember being pretty catchy. You know, it was okay, but I think Devil Without a Cause is Kid Rock's main talking point here because the album is fucking massive and very influential as it kind of combined a bunch of different genres into one. Yeah, Kid Rock started out as just a straight up rapper, I believe, too. So he kind of did a whole bunch of shit on Devil Without a Cause, not just necessarily the country stuff, but he's, you know, one of the earlier acts to do the blending of metal and rock and rap, and like here's a little bit of southern stuff in there. You know, he really did do something different that nobody's going to give him credit for. I like Kid Rock's new metal stuff. Like I'm not, you know, we're not here to you know be political and all that shit. We're not here to be offended. We're here to fucking, you know, talk about music. So I'm gonna go. I could put him on S. I could, but I don't like him that much. He's not one of my favorites, but like I said, I do like it. I do think that's a damn good album. Cocky, I'm not. It's okay. It's just the album's like 50-50 because it's like half of it's new metal, the other half of it's like the new country shit or whatever. I'm not a massive fan of. Man, I'm gonna go A. Gonna go A. He's got the success. He's very influential. I'm almost tempted to put him in S. Fucking God, dude. Like I just personally, like I said, it's my list. I can do what I want. And my opinion is the main fucking driving factor here. But I just don't. Putting him on there with like the Deftones, like, I mean, it makes sense in terms of, because the Deftones are influential. Kid Rock is influential. Whether people want to admit it or not, he is. He put his stamp in music. He really did. I mean, the dude he's kind of a pop culture icon to some extent too. We're gonna give him that. I mean, fuck, Kid Rock might be S. He might go in S. Excuse me. I know people are gonna whine and cry and, you know, fucking punch their screens and pound their keyboards and, you know, throw temper tantrums, but yeah, Kid Rock's gonna be S. Kid Rock is S tier, my friends. Well, in this case, probably more foes, because I probably just pissed half the people off, if not more, that are watching this. Yeah, Kid Rock's S, man. He's got the credentials to be fucking S. Sorry, but Kid Rock is S. Now, what am I apologizing for? It's my list. Fuck you. You don't like it, turn it off. Anyway, yeah. S for Kid Rock, ladies and gentlemen. I bet you didn't see that one coming. The easiest slam fucking dunk S on this list. The dude who started it all, Korn. Without Korn, we don't even have this list. So I can't really justify putting them in anything but S, no matter how I feel about them in any way. But I like them anyway. They have plenty of good stuff. Their whole discography is pretty solid. I mean, like I said, they started the genre. They have influenced everything, obviously. They're kind of a pop culture staple. I mean, people will, you know, doing the baggy fucking pants and the backwards hats. Oh, that's more Limp Bizkit, I guess. Dreadlocks, the fucking piercings. I mean, the whole thing of fashion in like the '90s. I mean, they're in all sorts of different games and movies and shit. I mean, they're a fucking staple of the genre. They started everything. How can I put them in anything but S? I mean, they started the 7-string guitars that are common in new metal, the funky bass, hip hop grooves, everything. The angst and the sadness. They've started it all. So S tier for Korn. Also, they started the fucking backwards R shit, which I think is yes. Love Korn. Easiest S on this list. We're just gonna do this. Okay, but seriously, this is okay. This might be an easier S than Korn. I mean, my fucking channel is literally like influenced by Fred. So, dude, Limp Bizkit. Love them or hate them, although I don't know why the fuck you're watching a new metal video if you don't like them. That just seems like I'm gonna go, go on the internet and look at something I don't like just to be negative, but whatever. Anyway, dude, a lot of the same stuff I said for Korn you can apply to Limp Bizkit, just with more of a hip hop aspect, because Limp Bizkit was like the first band to really do that successfully and more and to bring it more mainstream, the hip hop aspect of new metal, legitimate rapping in it. Korn didn't really do that. There was hip hop influence in the music, but there was no actual rapping. Fred Durst kind of did that. I mean, dude, Limp Bizkit has monumentally successful music as well. Significant Other was a massive album. I know as of right now it's 7 times platinum. I bet you it's even higher than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's fucking diamond now. Chocolate Starfish is 6, I think. Same thing. It's probably fucking diamond now. My God, that album still holds the record to this day for fastest selling rock album of all time in the U.S. I'm pretty sure it was like slightly over 1 million copies within like is it the first week or the first day? I'm gonna look that up. In the meantime, they have tons of fucking songs too that are huge. Break Stuff, Rollin', Nookie, Rearranged. Take a Look Around was in the Mission Impossible movie, and literally the fucking guitar in that was like influenced by the Mission Impossible theme. So you got your pop culture there. Also, Rollin' was Undertaker's theme song in fucking WrestleMania in WWE. Not even WrestleMania. Actually, Limp Bizkit performed in WrestleMania, so the pop culture thing, Limp Bizkit might have the biggest influence on. They might be, yeah, they might be the biggest. If we're talking just pop culture, might be the biggest pop culture band on this list. They're in a ton of stuff. Now, yeah, freaking titling an album "The Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water" and getting as much success that they did. I don't know who else could have fucking done that. I mean, they've never taken themselves too seriously. I know people will argue that they do. I don't think they ever have. That's part of why I like them. They're just kind of, they make stupid music. What can I say? But it's damn good music. Everybody in that fucking band, rest in peace, Sam Rivers, by the way, fucking phenomenal at everything they do. Wes Borland, very innovative guitarist. Also, they're already nuts, that doesn't really matter. But, bonus point, I've seen this band live. They opened for Metallica. I saw Metallica. They were one of the openers. They were fucking awesome live, too. They still have it. I saw them last year. Fantastic. Again, rest in peace, Sam Rivers. I'm glad I was able to see him before, he passed, unfortunately. My Way's a fucking big song, too. My Generation. Results May Vary is not a great album, but it doesn't matter because Significant Other and Chocolate Starfish alone are fucking staples. $3 Bill is good too. I like Gold Cobra, a lot of people don't. I thought Gold Cobra was a good comeback album. Still Sucks is good enough. Yeah, 1,054,511 copies in its first week, setting a record for the fastest selling rock album in the country. That's fucking nuts. It has sold over 10 million copies worldwide. That's pretty crazy. So, what can I say, man? Also, this is not probably in their favor, but still, since we're talking pop culture, current events, the shit with Woodstock, where all the riots and stuff like that happened when Bizkit was kind of the centerpiece of that, unfortunately. I'm of the opinion it wasn't really their fault. I think that's more the venue, the promoters, all that shit. They should have had all that taken care of. I don't think that's on Fred, but the fuck does my opinion mean? Yeah, Limp Bizkit, slam fucking dunk, dude. This actually I think for me is an easier S than Korn. Man, look at that. 3 back-to-back S's and motherfucker, we might have a fourth. We have a fourth. Linkin Park. What a fucking run, dude. Kid Rock, which I actually didn't think was going to go S. Korn, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, all S. That is wild. Linkin Park is the biggest band on this list. They are the most successful. They're actually one of the most successful bands of all fucking time. Not just in the US, but in the US as well. In the whole country. Hybrid Theory is one of the best-selling albums of all fucking time. Everywhere, not just the US. Again, though, US as well. I believe Hybrid Theory was the best-selling album of the year that it came out, if I'm not mistaken. I think it sold close to 5 million copies when it came out. It was 2000, but I think they probably did it for 2001 because it came out in the end of 2000, October. That's wild. I mean, no band on. I mean, yeah, I guess Limp Bizkit has a record too because of the Chocolate Starfish being the fastest selling of all, rock album of all fucking time. Wild. So, yeah, that's crazy. I want to see how. Yeah, certified 12 times platinum in the U.S. That's 12 million, more than 12 million copies in the U.S. Fucking Christ, man. It has sold 32 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling debut album since Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction in 1987. Jesus Christ, dude. The second best-selling rock album of the 21st century in the United Kingdom. That is fucking nuts. Good God. And everyone fucking likes Hybrid Theory. Everyone knows Linkin Park. Everyone knows half the fucking songs they put out. My God, In the End's a massive song. I would be curious to see how much that sold. Fucking Crawling's big, Numb's big, Faint, Somewhere I Belong, fucking Paper Cut. I mean, geez Louise, they have a fucking run like no other. Meteora's a fucking massive album too. 8 times platinum in the US. 27 million worldwide. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize that album was that big. I always liked Meteora a little bit better. I always thought it was just a more polished Hybrid Theory. That is insane. I did not know that thing was that fucking big. Oh my lordy. Yeah, they have tons of fucking songs that have pop charts. This is probably the biggest fucking rock band of like my generation, or like Nickelback maybe. That they also remixed some of the songs. That's right, with Jay-Z for the Collision course. That was also very popular. So this is the thing that's crazy. Just the first 2 albums that they have, right? Hybrid Theory and Meteora, which are really their only new metal stuff, have sold more than like anybody else on this band's entire fucking discography. That is how big this band is. Like, they are literally one of the biggest bands ever now. Like, the fucking staple, what am I saying? The stamp that they've put on music is bigger than like any fucking band on this list. Maybe not Korn, because Korn literally started the whole thing. But like, that is nuts. Rest in peace, Chester Bennington, of course, too. My God, what one of the fucking greatest, rock singers. Probably, I would argue, singers, period. But of my era, my generation, what I grew up with, gone way too fucking soon, man. Dude was so good at fucking just leaving it all in the song, putting the emotion into the music. The dude was fucking phenomenal at it. It's a fucking shame. I guess, I don't know if you count Hunting Party as new metal or not. I always thought it was more hard rock, but I guess they did kind of go back to it. I'll be honest, I have not listened to their latest album with the new chick, because I don't know, man. For me, it's like Linkin Park with Chester. I don't know, I'm not trying to sound, whatever kind of way, but like, I feel like if you're gonna go on with Linkin Park, maybe do a dude that kind of sounds like him a little bit, because like, the dude's just so iconic. If not, then completely, I don't know, change the band's name, completely change the style. I don't even really care if bands go on without the singers. Like, Alice in Chains did it. I was cool with that. The dude was fantastic to fill it in. I don't think the chick has it, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think she's I don't think she's good enough. She ain't terrible, but I don't think she's good enough. Yeah, Linkin fucking Park, dude. My God, the band is so big. in the amount of bands that they've influenced that have came off too, because like they are the biggest fucking new metal band. Period. I mean, that's another very easy S. Very easy S. I don't really listen to them that much anymore. I'll be honest, but like they're the you know they probably make the argument that a lot of people say these are the fucking goats of the genre. I mean, Chester and Mike had that really crisp, fluid dynamic too. Mike did more of the rapping, you know, Chester more singing and the screaming. They really did that really well, the whole hip hop stuff. They also had some electronic in their music a little bit more than a lot of these bands, which I always thought was unique. They used the DJ really well. I don't normally care for DJs too much in new metal. Like I don't know. I like when bands don't overuse it. I thought Linkin Park did a good job with it. I mean, bro, Linkin Park S. I mean, what? Here, guys. Here, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna keep that there. That's another fucking easy S. Man, what a run we got. We got 4 S's in a row. Fucking god, man. Ooh, we got another kind of controversial one because people are probably gonna argue this band does not belong here. I call BS. Mushroomhead, while they really aren't a new metal band anymore, has definitely put some new metal stuff out there. And Rob Flynn, that's the lead singer of the band. I know you're gonna be like, bro, we ain't new metal. Get me the fuck out of this list. Brother, I hate to tell you, but you have made some new metal, my friend. Now, what do I think of the new metal that you made? Well, I don't think it's half bad at all. You guys got some good stuff. They have 2 albums that are for certain new metal. We got The Burning Red, which is one of their best selling albums in the US. I don't think it got certified or anything, but it seems like it did as good as it could have done without so. And Supercharger, which I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think was that great. There was a song on there called Crashing Around You that was solid. I think The Burning Red is definitely the better album. There's a song called From This Day that's pretty kick ass on there. The Desire to Fire was pretty good too. I Defy I liked. It's pretty standard new metal though. It is definitely on the heavier side of it because Machine Head at heart is a metal band, like a metal band. They started out as a groove metal Pantera-esque band. Then they turned into more of a thrash band with The Blackening, which is one of the best fucking albums I've ever heard. But we're not ranking the thrashy stuff. Then they kind of went back to new metal with Catharsis. Catharsis, I would say, was pretty much a new metal album. I don't know how you can say it's not. There's like straight up like hip hop, like like beat riffy stuff. There's rapping in it. Now the whole thing ain't new metal, but like part of it is. I have actually seen Machine Head live too, and I'll tell you what, man, they could put a fucking show on. They were phenomenal live. They did play a song or two, I think, from the new metal era too. I remember playing or remember hearing From This Day, actually really enjoying it, which I still like to this day. Machine Head, I mean, as a whole, I don't care for the albums too much. Like I said, I think their thrashy stuff is way fucking better than their new metal. They didn't really have a ton of commercial success. I mean, they're still kicking it. They had enough, I guess. I do like the new metal more than the stuff on C, so I might be. Rob Flynn, what do you think? If you listen, you know, I'll put him on for Rob because he got 2 B's in his name, so we'll put him in. We'll put him in B. Nah, bro, yeah, stuff's pretty solid. So yeah, B. And like I said, they get that little bonus point because I saw them live and they put on a hell of a show live. So B for Machine Head. Motograter, which is actually an instrument that the band Motograter created. That's right, they have their own instrument that they use. They don't have a bass. No. Those are overrated. So, they made this bass-like instrument called a Motograter, which is industrial cable with some guitar pieces, and it looks like a fucking giant. I don't know how to describe it. I should put a picture of it up or something. Yeah, and it's got like a bass-like sound that it makes. It is kind of unique. I don't think there's any other bands using one, so I can't really give them influence points. But yes, it's different. It's different. I mean, their new metal stuff is kind of typical dark, you know, stuff you've heard before. Fun fact: this is Ivan Moody's band before he went to Five Finger Death Punch. So we're not ranking Five Finger Death Punch though. This band didn't do that great. I don't think. I honestly almost forgot about them. But their stuff ain't bad. I don't have a ton to say about them. We're going to throw them in C. This next band, who you can probably barely see because for whatever reason the font is like damn near fucking black. Or I don't even know if it's black. It's more like it's dark gray and it blends in. That's Mudvayne, my friends. I imagine everyone here's probably heard of Mudvayne. They're probably one of the more recognizable bands in the new metal genre. The motherfuckers got paint and masks, I think, and everything that they wear, like Slipknot. We'll get to them at another point. Yeah, Mudvayne. Yeah. It's been a while since I've listened to Mudvayne. Although they did have like 2 songs come out last year out of the blue, which were all right. The thing with Mudvayne is LD50, their debut album, was like almost a progressive metal album in a way. The song structures were kind of like, yeah, they're kind of progressive. They called their style math metal, which I don't know what the weight of that is, but it seems like they kind of made like kind of almost random time signatures and stuff like that in the album. It's kind of a cool listen. I would recommend it. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's very unique. It's like progressive new metal. Freaking Dig, man, Dig became kind of like a kind of like a meme song because of the screaming, which is kind of funny. That's like a very very in your face aggressive new metal song. It's like a good workout song. I mean, Dig solid. They had Death Blooms. I remember on LD50, which was always cool. There was a song called Nothing to Gain, which is about Ed Gein, the serial killer. That was a really, really cool song. It was like a chill. It started off kind of more somber chill. Yeah, they really, it's really nailed the dark, brooding moodiness on LD50. I remember Under My Skin was like a straight up, like fucking Spitfire rappy, almost thrashy new metal song. LD50 I have good memories of. Granted, it's been a while since I listened to it. I owned it as a kid. That album did pretty good, platinum certification. As the next 2 albums too, they did pretty good if I recall. End of All Things to Come and Lost and Found, both also certified platinum. They got a platinum certification. Happy's got a 2 times platinum certification. Surprisingly, I don't know. This is interesting. So all their stuff is listed as new metal, but I was always under the impression that it ended at LD50. But I guess I'm wrong. Fuck me. Uh, Don't fucking cancel me. Don't ban me, YouTube. Alright? I don't mean that but fucking literally. The thing that always kind of got on my nerves with Mudvayne is Chad Gray as the vocalist. While dude's a pretty good screamer, he's like a good metal vocalist. Although even that, sometimes I think his screaming gets a little obnoxious, for lack of a better word. His natural voice, which granted probably isn't his fault, super nasally and very whiny. And I think that was the main reason why I never got hooked on Mudvayne. But I mean, they're a solid band. They have success. I don't know if they're influential, although they did kind of the progressive new metal stuff is unique. I'll give them that. That's what that's my where do I put Mudvayne? But that's kind of my experience with Mudvayne. I don't love them. I don't hate them. The success is there. Maybe they'll be influential in the future. Doesn't seem like they are now. They did do some different stuff. Dig's a fairly popular song. I think one between A and B. I don't like them enough to put them on A. Like I said, they're a band that it's like I borderline like them. Don't listen to them anymore, but like they're fine. If they come on the radio, I can bang my head a little bit to them or whatever. I think B is. Yeah, we're gonna put Mudvayne to B. B's a good place for it. Ooh, an interesting one. Mushroomhead. Man, Mushroomhead is one of those bands like Slipknot where they have a shitload of members. 10, I believe, currently. That's right, 10 at once. And they got the masks and the costumes and all that stuff and a very different sound because they have so many different instruments going on at once. And Mushroomhead has 2 vocalists as well. Usually, I believe, a singer and a screamer. Although they probably change sometimes. So yeah, very unique sound. Total, this band has had 25 fucking members. So just kind of like Hed PE, I would assume that's probably part of why they never took off the way that some of these other bands did. I mean, too many. I mean, they've had a revolving door of a band, unfortunately. Too many damn members, so that can affect stuff. But hey, I always liked them. They're kind of very experimental for a new metal band to the point of where some people probably wouldn't even call them one. They have a lot of electro and industrial influence. They got a little bit of techno stuff in there, some gothic stuff, some hip hop. I mean, they've fucking done it all, man. So they actually have 10 studio albums out, which I did not know. They've been around a little bit longer than I would have expected, since the late 90s, I think. And I guess they've had enough success to keep going. I never thought they were that successful. They don't have any certified albums or anything like that. Certified albums, excuse me. I have not listened to every album, I'll admit it. XIII. There's three I's. I don't know why I fucking say that. Anyway, uh, that's the band's most successful album. I always liked it. That was always my favorite album by them. Kind of different because, like I said, they got the two different, the two vocalists going at once. There's like some industrial type of stuff going on there. The song "Sun Doesn't Rise" is on there, which I think is like one of their biggest songs. The song freaking kicks ass. "Kill Tomorrow" kicks ass too. "Nowhere to Go" is like a more somber, depressing track. Really enjoy it. They got some other stuff like "Blomps" on one of their earlier albums. "Blomps" kind of a goofy song, but I always enjoyed it. Yeah, they've had a couple of different vocalists too. I've liked all of them. So if you're, you like a really kind of the more diverse style in your music, or your new metal music per se, you like some of that industrial electro type of stuff, check this band out. This might be for you. I've always liked them. I actually went through a phase where I was listening to them a lot. I don't know if I'd say I love them. I actually hoping to see them later this year because they're performing not too far away from me. I haven't had really a ton of success, nothing notable. I never heard them on the radio. I don't know many people that know them. But, I mean, if you know new metal, you probably know them because there's the argument of they ripped Slipknot off, or Slipknot ripped them off because it's, multi fucking, big ass band with the mass and kind of different sound. I'm gonna go B. B. Yeah, B. They're definitely better than the bands on C. Even if they haven't had the success of maybe an Adema or a Dope, but they're fucking better, man. I will admit it. Nonpoint is one of the bands on here I'm not as familiar with, but I know enough I feel like I can rank. So the first thing I think of with Nonpoint is they have made some pretty kick-ass covers. They have a cover of, what's it, "In the Air Tonight," I believe is the title of the song, by Phil Collins. That's really fucking good. And then they have another cover of Pantera's 5 Minutes Alone, excuse me. It's really fucking good. I own the album that's on. I want to say it's called Miracle. I should probably look that up. Yes, it is. I've only listened to it like once. Nothing really stuck with me, if I'm being honest, other than that cover. But I don't remember disliking it either. It was just kind of like an average album to me. They've got a couple of good other songs that I'm aware of. There's another song that they have called "Breaking Skin" that's pretty damn good. "Bullet with a Name" is solid as well. I think there's one called "What a Day" that I remember liking. I mean, like I said, I don't know a ton of stuff by them, but everything I know I like. And they have a singer by the name of Elias, I believe. Soriano. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's got a more melodic voice. He doesn't do a ton of screaming on the stuff that I'm aware of. I mean, I could be wrong. The material I've heard, not a ton of it. So that's different. A lot of new metal stuff, a lot of screaming, yelling, whatnot. He's got almost a little bit of a Latin tinge in his voice too, which is very strong, melodic, slight Latin tinge to his voice, so it gives him a little bit of a unique sound. I think Nonpoint is going to go on B. They're definitely an above average band, but I don't know if I throw them higher. Oh, the angry chainsaw metal band, as I like to call them, Nothingface. Man, this band is they have the intensity of a Slipknot, where you listen to them and it feels like they're just bashing your head against the wall, but it's fucking fantastic. They're a criminally underrated band. Definitely one of the most underrated bands on this list. If you have not listened to them, you owe it to yourself to go do so. Yeah, very, very intense. They were able to balance the intensity and the aggression with a lot of melody. They had a really good singer by the name of Matt Holt. Rest in peace. He had an incredible voice. He always made me think of Corey Taylor, actually, but maybe a little bit more of a grungier edge to him that kind of also gave the band their own little identity. I mean, there's people out there that argue this band isn't new metal because they have guitar solos. There's not really any DJing. There's no rapping. They are definitely one of the more metal driven bands in this list that I would say. There's not really a ton of outside other genres being meshed in here. It's pretty strictly new metal and really heavy alt metal. That's what I would call them. Yeah, they're fucking great. And Audio Guide to Everyday Atrocity and Violence are both phenomenal albums. I actually reviewed an Audio Day. What am I saying? An Audio Guide to Everyday Atrocity on my channel here, and I fucking loved it. So if you have not listened to this band, please do yourself a favor and check them out. As for the rating, if they were bigger, I'd totally put them in S, but that just wouldn't be a fair ranking. However, the music is really fucking good. There's so much going here, going for them. Just like Design 19, you can only wonder like what would have happened. They have a couple albums out actually, but they never got a ton of success. But they're a fantastic band. I put them in A. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. The crew is called P.O.D. Yeah, P.O.D. is up next. P.O.D. is one of the probably bigger bands on this list. One of the few Christian nu metal bands that exists out there. I've been with a couple of their albums over the time, including their masterpiece Satellite, which is again kick-ass album. Went on to sell like 3 million copies in the U.S. Spawned a bunch of big songs like Alive, Youth of the Nation, Boom, Satellite. Tons of good stuff there. That album sold over 7 million copies worldwide, so they've definitely got some success. A couple of their other albums did well. The Fundamentals of Southtown, I believe that was what the album was called. I owned that one as well. That one had Southtown on it. Southtown is a great, like, fucking kick-ass song. P.O.D.'s more of like the rap side of nu metal. There's a lot of hip-hop influence. They've also got they've got like reggae mixed in there too. They've got some like punky, thrashy stuff. So P.O.D., in the eyes of many, I think I would be inclined to agree with them, actually kind of started out as a punk band. Their first album is called Snuff the Punk, with little bits maybe of the nu metal trace in there. It's actually debated if P.O.D. started nu metal or Korn did, because their albums or I shouldn't say their albums, Korn's demo, I don't know if I want to try to pronounce this. We're going to say the Nidemeyer's Mind came out in 93. Now, Snuff the Punk came out in 94 of January, but was recorded in 93, as was Korn's demo. So it's kind of debated who actually came out first. Korn is generally the answer that you would get from most people. I'm inclined to agree. I just don't think that their first album's really again, I don't think it's as nu metal-y as it's being made out to be. Man, this band, I have good memories of this band. Like I said, I've owned a couple of their albums. They have tons of good songs. Execute the Sound's another good one. Will You's good. The ones I was talking about off of Satellite. The Messenger off of Satellite. That's a fucking banger. They actually won a Grammy, I think, for a song on that album. I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to need to look that up. They also wrote Rey Mysterio's theme song. Rey Mysterio, as in the wrestler in WWE, the luchador. It's pretty iconic in the wrestling world. 619. They wrote that, so they've got a little bit of a pop culture thing there. P.O.D., man. Where the fuck would I rank P.O.D.? Another thing that's funny about P.O.D. is they're a Christian band, but I'm pretty sure they have a song that says fucking it. I couldn't tell you what the name of the song was, but I think one of their fucking CDs has a parental advisory sticker on it. I want to say it was Murdered Love, which I always thought was funny. Kind of crazy. Now, what? Portrait was the song that, was at actually no, they did not win, excuse me. They were nominated for Best Metal Performance. Not that I personally don't really give a shit about the Grammys, and a lot of people do, but yeah, Portrait, which was off of Satellite. So that is pretty fucking cool. P.O.D. Where does P.O.D. belong on this list? It is between A and S. I don't know if they're super influential. They do not have the success of any of the bands on S, but they were very successful. So, shit. Where does P.O.D. go? Got the fact that they're a Christian nu metal band. I think they've got to be the fucking first one to do that. P.O.D. Does P.O.D. belong in S or A? I'm going to go ahead and say A's. Oh man, we're starting to get kind of down there with the list. What do we got? 1, 2. Sorry, I'm a slow counter. I think we got 20 bands left, if I'm looking at this correctly. Okay, shit, we're getting there. Papa Roach is up next. Papa Roach was like one of my favorite bands when I was younger, and I'm talking like middle school younger though. I had Infest, which went 4 times platinum in the US, sold pretty well worldwide. spawned some pretty popular songs like Broken Home, Between Angels and Insects, and then Last Resort was a big success. Shit got certified 6 times platinum in the US, and got a bunch of certifications. I'm not going to read them all in other places. That song is fucking huge. There's lots of there's a lot of like memes, spoofs of that song, so they got a little bit of a pop culture thing going on there. Now, yeah, Last Resort was a huge song. Now that I'm thinking about it, jeez Louise, that song was everywhere. People still quote that song to this day, for better for worse, I guess. I don't really listen to this band anymore. They're one of those bands I don't know how else to put it other than just saying like I kind of outgrew them. They're a little emo-ish too, for my taste. Some of the lyrics got really cringy. They're pretty standard new metal shit, you know. I don't have anything crazy to say about them. They got the sales and the success. They were popular. I think they're still making music today, and they're doing okay from the sounds of it. Last Resort, big fucking song. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them that much either. I feel like they're probably gonna go to A. Yeah, because of the success that they've had, they're a big band. A lot of people know who Papa Roach is. They're bigger than all the bands on B. Like I said, I don't really have an opinion to one way or another. I don't listen to them anymore. I kind of just outgrew them, but I think A is a good spot for Papa Roach. The band of Rob Zombie's little brother, Powerman 5000. My lord, Powerman 5000 is an interesting band. So they're another band that had a ridiculous amount of people over the years. Currently, there's 5 people in the band. Total, they have had 26 people in their band, so a lot of lineup changes. Kind of crazy. So they did a lot more on the industrial side of nu metal, like maybe like a Static X we'll get to later on, or a band of that nature. They're very, very unique. They had a lot of like space-oriented lyrics and like a whole vibe, like just being kind of weird and trippy, and yeah, it was a lot of spacey stuff, like aliens. Just very, very strange, unique band. The vocals are normally like chanted almost, or it's like spoken word. I don't even know if I would call it rapping, and he doesn't do a ton of singing either, at least in the stuff that I remember. So I had Tonight, The Stars Revolt, which was a actually solid selling album. I know it got 1 million copies sold in the US. Had some fairly big hits like Nobody's Real and When Worlds Collide, both good songs. Supernova Goes Power was another one that was on there. That's a kick-ass song. They're kind of like a bouncy, more of a bouncy, almost got like a dance. I don't know if dance is the word or not, but it's like a very upbeaty, groovy, very unique sound. You should check them out. But that's really the only success they had. Their freaking first album, I need to fucking find the name of it, was fucking awful. The Blood Splat Rating System is what it was called. Yeah, that album sucked. That was just very, very bland, boring, funky nu metal, and there was absolutely nothing freaking unique about it. It was poo-poo, dog shit, don't listen to it. I don't really know much other than Tonight, The Stars Revolt, if I'm being honest, and then like, I know they have a song called Free, that was one of their later songs that was pretty good. And Bombshell's pretty good. Where would I put Powerman 5000? Unique band, had some success. I do like some of their stuff. B, we got a lot of B on here. I kind of figured that's how this was going to go. Yeah, we got a lot of frickin' B. Powerman 5000, that's good for them. They had a good album. I don't know a ton. I'm not going to act like I do. Like I said, that album I know, and I know a handful of songs. That album's pretty good. You should check it out. Yeah, check Powerman 5000 out. They're very, very unique. I don't even know how you categorize them other than nu metal and industrial metal. They're a strange band. Yeah, give them a shot. Timer 55. This is one of the bands that got lost in the shuffle, man. More unknown band on the list. They are pretty good. It's a shame they didn't get the recognition or the sales that they deserve. They kick ass. I am a fan. Their first album, Introduction to Mayhem, is more like a bouncy, jumpy, kind of fun, stupid, a little bit obnoxious, but good, kind of Limp Bizkit-esque, like more of a heavy rap metal, nu metal album. A couple of songs off of there I remember. Loose was pretty good. That was like a bouncy, jump around type of song. Super Freak Love was pretty solid. There's a song called The Big Fuck You on there. That was the first song I ever heard by them. A little edgy, but it's a good song. It captures new metal energy, man. It's the angst, the swearing, all that, all that stuff. Good new metal album. I really like the new release. I reviewed that as well on my channel here. Kind of unique. So this band supposedly did not listen to any MTV or any popular music when they were recording this. And you can definitely tell, because if you listen to the contrast between these the two albums here, there's definitely a difference. This one is more unique. And what I say that it's not, you couldn't hear some of this on the radio per se. Like, it's not like it's some fucking Mr. Bungle-esque super experimental. It's not like that. But there's some interesting stuff on here. They have a freaking saxophone on like 2 or 3 of the songs. There's pianos in here. Some of the vocals are kind of bluesy. There's not as much hip hop on here as there was on the first album. There's a little bit of like kind of classic rock and metal influences on here. I always really liked this album. This Life was a good song. Texas was a good song. My Girl, I always really liked the guitar in that. It was kind of dark, broody, kind of edgy song. Always enjoyed that. Yeah, it was a good fucking album, man. Like I said, a little kind of unique. I've never heard like a saxophone in new metal before, so that was a first. A lot of like good energy in this band too. You listen to it, you'll hear it. I'm gonna go, I think B. B or A, man. I don't think they're as good as Nothingface, but they're good. There's not a lot of sales here. B's gonna grow. We're gonna put him in B. B continues to be fucking big. B for big, I guess. I don't know. Click, click, boom. Fucking Saliva, man. Oh, where do I even start? Saliva's such a cliche new metal band. They have absolutely nothing original about them. But, like, it worked for them. Like, they got success. Click, Click, Boom's a pretty popular song. I mean, you can't like, not go to, like, a sporting event and hear it. I'm sure it's a theme song for somebody. Speaking of theme songs, the wrestler turned actor Batista, Saliva, wrote his theme song. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank and I can't think of the fucking name of it. I'll have to look it up here. They have an album called Every 6 Seconds. It sold 1 million copies in the U.S. Spawned some big songs back into your system. I got a gold certification, which is a 500,000. The song Superstar of Every 6 Seconds was used as the theme song for WrestleMania. It was 8, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, WrestleMania 8. Hogan and The Rock, so that's a pretty big frickin' deal. That's kind of fucking nuts. I didn't realize this band was as successful as they were. Yeah, I mean, they've got mainstream success. They got, like I said, pop culture. They're in some wrestling stuff. I know I've heard Click Click Boom in frickin' stadiums before. Like, they're a good band for that. They're very generic, though. There's nothing special about this band at all. They do the same shit any other they're just stereotypical new metal. But they've got the credentials, they've got the popularity. I gotta put them in B. Like I said, I don't really like them that much. I don't dislike them. They're just not something I listen to. Click Click Boom's kind of fun to, like, sing really, like, stupidly and obnoxiously because the song's really stupid and obnoxious. That's kind of my my memories with this band, is just singing that song like an idiot. Yeah, they're gonna go and B. All right. This is my favorite band on this list, like in general. Not necessarily the new metal, but their new metal stuff is up there. Just in general, this is my favorite band on the fucking list. Sevendust is a fucking 10 out of 10, phenomenal. I have seen this band twice live. They fucking kill it. Every album of theirs is wonderful. Like, they don't make bad music. They're just fucking amazing. Lejon is a phenomenal vocalist. He's one of the best in the fucking genre, and honestly, I think music in general. Morgan Rose is a kick-ass drummer. The guitarist fucking kick-ass. The bass kicks ass. Everything about this band kicks fucking ass. I cannot praise them enough. They only have, like, their new metal stuff is it's all good. I would say they have, I'm going to say, I think Next is when they kind of stopped doing new metal. Seasons was, like, really radio-y alternative metal, new metal. The self-titled Home and Amosity are pretty straight-up new metal, but, like, John gives the music kind of a different vibe to it because he doesn't have the stereotypical rapping, screaming, whiny, he's got like almost like a soul R&B kind of style to his singing. Because I believe he was in a funk, I think either a funk band or an R&B band before he joined Sevendust. So you've got a very different sounding nu metal band here. Their first 3 albums have been certified gold in the US. Seasons, I'm sure if they updated it, would probably get certified at 2. Seasons is big. They got a couple of nu metal staples like Enemy and Denial and Waffle and Bitch and Black. I mean, they got tons of great stuff. Just counting their nu metal stuff, not even the non-nu metal stuff. They're kind of getting like a resurgence in popularity, kind of like what the Deftones and Limp Bizkit and some of these other bands have. So the popularity is I would say they're not as big as some of these bands, but they're not unknown. Like the 2 freaking concerts I saw them at, they sold them the fuck out. I mean, you know nu metal, you know Sevendust. They got that appeal. This is my list. I can do what I want, motherfucker. Sevendust is going on the S, dude. They are the even the nu metal stuff is fantastic. Home's a freaking fantastic album. Like I said, there's like some R&B-ish nu metal-y stuff in there. It's very groovy. It's very bouncy. I mean, John has a lot of melody in his voice too, but he can also do like a good rougher hard rock singing style. Sevendust is fucking amazing. They are definitely my favorite band on this list. Ooh, this is a interesting, really diverse band here with Skindred. Man, these dudes kind of jump started the reggae metal thing that honestly didn't ever got super popular, but they were the band that did that. In fact, I think they called themselves like Ragga Metal or something like that. Ragga Metal, what am I saying? You know what I mean? Some weird shit like that. I don't think they got super popular. There's no certifications or anything. I only know like a couple of people that know Skindred. Again, the reggae metal thing is kind of their thing. They're very talented. They've got a lot of good stuff. Babylon's a good album. They got a couple of good songs. I used to literally just put them on Spotify, hit shuffle, and just let their songs play because they're all really fucking good. Kill the Power was good. There was a song called Ninja that was cool. Yeah, they're one of those nu metal bands that pulls a lot of different styles out. They've got like the reggae thing's kind of their thing. They've still got like hip hoppy stuff. They've got some electronic kind of sounding stuff, some kind of bouncy, dancey stuff. They've got more of the heavier, metal-y sounding stuff. Also, they are from Wales, which I did not know. But so they're another band from not from the U.S. There's not a ton of them on here. Skindred's a pretty underrated band in my book. I don't listen to them that much anymore, but I always liked them. I can appreciate that what they've done, how different they are. To me, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna go A. It's like Nothingface and Design 19. They never quite got what they deserved, man. They're a really good band. Very unique. The vocalist Benji, I think's his name. He can do a ton of different styles. His trademark thing's kind of the reggae rocky singing style. He can do all the screaming, the growling, he can rap, he can sing all of it. Dude's very talented. Yeah, Skindred's good. If you have not heard Skindred, which if you're on this list, I'd be surprised if you didn't, but I mean, go check them out. Oh man, we got probably, other than Design 19, the most unknown, obscure band on this list with Skrape. Fucking bonus points for having the the edgy name Skrape spelled with a K. They couldn't be more nu metal than that if they wanted to be. Truth be told, they're solid. I mean, they don't really do anything unique. They don't really stand out, but they're good at what they do, which is kind of, yeah, basic nu metal. They're more on the hard rock side of nu metal. There's not really any rapping. I don't remember there being a ton of. They might have a little bit of industrial influence. I don't remember there being a ton. Definitely more just straight up hard rock nu metal, if I recall. I actually have their second and final album, Up the Dose, that I found in like a dollar section at a local used gaming store. Ended up being solid. I couldn't tell you any of the names of the songs. I only listened to it like once. I do need to go and listen to it again, but I remember enjoying it. Apparently the band has reformed because, well, nu metal's taken off again. I mean, you'd be stupid not to take advantage of that if you're a new metal band. So, but I guess they had some sort of legal issue with the band's name, so they haven't been able to do anything for a while, and that's part of it. But or I don't know, something along those lines. But I guess they just recently reformed. They're trying to come back, so hopefully they make something. I said I don't have a ton to say. They're not really unique, but I think they're better than the bands on C. Like I said, I am familiar with them. There's a song of theirs off their first album titled New Killer America. It's got like a fucking really gross looking fingernail on the front of it. Yeah, I know, very, very new metal, right? There's a song called, I believe it's called Isolated, that was pretty damn solid. I do remember that song. There's not a ton of noteworthy stuff. There's commercial success. It's not there, unfortunately, but I would rather listen to them than the bands that I have in C. Do I put them in B? Or do I put them in C? It's like they're really not bad. I hate to do that. They gotta go C. Although fuck it, dude. Not that this really matters, but top of C, right? If I'm not honestly really going the top of tiers, but just to make note of that, they're the best band in here. Like if there was a fucking like a tier between B and C, I'd put them there. Like you should give them a shot. Give them a shot. But yeah, I guess they're C. The most metal band in this list, and probably one of the most popular. We got the fucking legends themselves, Slipknot. Slipknot is like one of the heavyweights of the genre, probably a what do you want to say, a Mount Rushmore maybe, or a like a Hall of Fame new metal band. They're fucking huge. They had I remember their self-titled, which I owned at one point, did well in the US. I believe they got it 2 times or 3 times platinum. Album sold well all over the place. Slipknot is one of the biggest fucking metal bands, like I think of present day actually. You know, they've definitely made a stamp in music. Lots of modern metal bands and rock bands have been influenced by Slipknot. Another band that had like I think 8 or 9 fucking people at once. They've had I think around 20 members as a whole. A very unique sound. They have like custom percussion, turntables, keyboards, a bunch of guitarists. Corey Taylor's a fucking great vocalist. He does all sorts of styles. Has a great singing voice. Has a great metal screaming, growling, all that. They're fantastic. They're referred to as one of the big four of 2000s metal, if you care about that type of stuff, along with Avenged Sevenfold, Lamb of God, and System of a Down, who we'll be talking about later on. Yeah, big fucking band, lots of success. The self-titled is a fantastic album. I really liked that. It was definitely like a different style of new metal almost, because it was so heavy and so in your face. Like, not that new metal isn't like that, but it was unreal to hear something like that when you're a fucking kid. Yeah, they had like thrash, speed, fucking groove, death metal, all sorts of influences from like heavy extreme genres of music. Iowa was even heavier than that, although I didn't like Iowa as much as the self-titled. I know Iowa's a lot of people's favorites. There's fucking classics on there like Left Behind, and then the big song People Equal Shit. I mean, that's like a new metal staple. Again, just like fucking Skrape with a K in their name. How does it get any more new metal than a song called People Equal Shit? They are probably the most intense, aggressive, angry band on this list. They probably do it better than anybody else. There's a reason they're as popular as they are. I personally, I've always loved the band. They kind of more stray away from new metal after Iowa. I don't really think they come back to it all that much. Nah, I shouldn't say that. The latest album they released, The End So Far, which I need to listen to again. It's been a while. It kind of dabbles back in it, but not too much if I recall. Man, Slipknot, dude. Ah, where am I gonna put them if it's not S? Seriously, like that's another kind of no-brainer. They have to go there. Massively successful. Has a stamp in music. Uh, has inspired a shitload of bands. Genuinely made fucking fantastic material. Where else am I gonna put them? I mean, in my mind, right? Now that I've gotten the S tier, starting to fill out here a little bit, right? We're gonna do a Mount Rushmore. For those of you who don't know Mount Rushmore, it's like the top four of whatever it is. You say Mount Rushmore. In my opinion, right? Default Mount Rushmore. You have to put Korn on there. They started everything. They've influenced everything. You have to put Korn on there, right? Limp Bizkit, I think you have to too, although I'm sure people would fight me on that, because Limp Bizkit kind of did the whole rap side of things. They really jump-started that, and again, just like Korn, massively successful. Cult, literally pop culture. If they put their stamp in there too. Big fucking band. Linkin Park, I think. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Linkin Park, most popular fucking band on the list, have now become one of the best-selling musical acts of all fucking time, believe it or not. And that fourth spot, I always thought was up for debate. So in reality, I'm giving you one. But in my mind, you have to you have to put them on there. I just don't see a world where you can't. They're too important. I would probably put Slipknot in that fourth category, although I think Deftones makes sense. And then there's another band we'll get to that I think makes sense as well. But if it was up to me, that's what I would do. Slipknot's that fourth band there. But yeah, Slipknot's going in S. I don't think anybody's going to fucking argue with me on that one. This one might be controversial. People might debate me and say this doesn't belong on the list. I beg to differ. The first album does, and the first album is their best and biggest album. We're talking about Smile Empty Soul, the debut album titled, Smile Empty Soul. Sold well in the U.S. 500,000 copies sold. This band is like a very, very. It is kind of debatable to call them nu metal. They're like a good mashup of that and the post grunge, which is kind of like, I always thought like nu metal's brother. They both kind of came out in similar time periods. Both got a lot of radio exposure and whatnot. Sometimes the bands overlapped with each other. This is one of those instances. I really fucking like the first album, which is really the only one I would say is nu metal. I reviewed it on my channel actually. If you want to look at it, check it out. It's a shame that this is all they really did in this style. There's a lot of fucking good songs on here. Although it's tough to, is it nu metal? Yeah, I think it is. It's staying here, fuck it, dude. But it's very post grungy too. Nowhere Kids is a kick-ass song. This is War, while it's not a nu metal song. Still a very good song. The Other Side I really fucking like. There's so much emotion in that song. These guys do a very good job of conveying emotion. I think that's very important for nu metal, being nu metal's an emotion-driven genre. The guy's voice is like he's kind of got almost, it reminds me of like a pop punk voice, but it's not super annoying. He sings pretty well. Again, like I said, he does the emotion well. That's really important. I really liked the first album. Sold decently. Granted, I don't think this is a band tons of people are going to know. I mean, they did have some radio hits. Shit. It's B or A. It's like, dude, they only had one album. Sold solid. I really like it, though, so it's my fucking list. It's going in A. Check the album out. This band could have been one of the greats, I think. We have Snot. Frickin' their career was just tragically cut short because their lead singer, Lynn Straight, was killed in a car accident, unfortunately, along with his dog, which is on the front cover of their one and only true studio album titled Get Some. Fucking shame, man. The dude was so talented. He had such a unique voice. I don't even know how to describe it. Melodic screaming's the best way I would describe it. There are people out there that would probably even debate Snot being nu metal. They'd probably say, nah, they're funk or they're punk. I don't know. I think they're just a mesh of everything. They truly have a unique style. Stupid's a fucking great song. The song Get Some itself is great. Joyride's fun. They are pretty punky for a nu metal band, I'll say that. But there's, straight up nu metal songs like I Just Lie on their album too. They're just like Design 19, where it's like one album and it was so good. They're like one of those big what if bands. We will never know what they could have become. So they also have another album that's technically a studio album called Straight Up, which is more of a tribute album to Snot, in the sense that Lynn Straight's not on it. This was after the time that he passed away, unfortunately. But there's a ton of nu metal singers on this album singing songs dedicated to Snot, which is actually fucking cool. Also has an unreleased song that they were planning on putting on their second album that unfortunately probably will. I don't see how it can see the light of day. There's not enough material for it, but called Absent, which is a fucking phenomenal song. The guitar in it reminds me of Smells, like Team Spirit by Nirvana, actually. Like the whole song, the structure of it kind of reminds me of that. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, if anyone knows that song, tell me if I'm the only one or not. Let me know. But I've always thought that sound sounded like that. But it's such a good song. There's so much energy in this band, so much emotion. They're amazing. I wish that we could see more of them. But for this kind of a tribute album, we'll say, called Straight Up, this was also really good. Even though it's a tribute album, I'm still gonna count it. It's new metal. It was still really good. Uh, there are so many freaking guest people on here. I'll go down the list. We got Surge from System of a Down. We got Jonathan Davis from Korn. We got Jared Gomes from Hed PE. Max Calavera from Soulfly. I'm not sure who RKL is. Jason Sears from that. Looks like they're an old hardcore band. Interesting. Brandon Boyd to Incubus. Ozzy Osbourne is in a spoken track on this album. We got Lejean from Sevendust, along with Clint, one of the guitarists, and Morgan Rose, the drummer, all on a song called Angel's Son. It was actually a song that was released on Animosity from Sevendust as well. There are two different versions. I prefer this one actually. That was a big dedication to Lynn. Rest in peace, man. Fred Durst is on this album as well. You got Dez from Cold Chamber, Corey Taylor from Slipknot, Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray. We'll be talking about them here at some point. And it looks like that is it. Oh, DJ Lethal's in a hidden track as well. That's a turntablist DJ from Limp Bizkit. So that's like a fucking like new metal like great comp. Like the greats, the cuts. There's like a new metal compilation almost because there's so many different new metal vocalists in there. But Snot, they could be an S if they were still around. But I think A is a good spot for them. It's just such a big what if band. We'll never know what they could have been, but what we got of them was so promising. It's just so different, so energetic. Fuck, they're such a good band. Just with that one album, and I mean, the second one's technically a studio album, I guess. I never thought of it as it, but never will have an album or a band that can bring together so many different people from a new metal genre. They're not even a new metal, or what am I saying? Music genre. My God, they had they had so many freaking people on that. It's crazy. But yeah, dude, we'll put Snot in A. They didn't have like crazy success or anything, but I think if you know new metal, you've probably heard the name Snot. Man, I'm getting so excited talking about them. Fucking stumbling over my words here. Next up, we got Soulfly, Max Cavalera's other band. Yeah, that's right. So he was the frontman of Sepultura, who I almost put on this list because Roach, I decided against it. Didn't think it was really new metal enough. More of a album that was very influential to the genre. So yeah, he comes out, says fuck this shit, I'm gonna make Soulfly, and he makes Soulfly, which is like a Brazilian tribal new metal band is the best way I can explain it. Well, their first two albums, I should say. So this album was fresh in my mind because I went on a road trip with my dear friend Club Doom, who maybe somebody knows is listening to this. If you don't, you should check his shit out. He makes some pretty good music too. We put this album on in the car. I think we both came to the conclusion that a little repetitive. Like it's not bad, but like a little repetitive. The songs kind of blend together. This is the title we're talking about, by the way. While not awful, and the album did get a gold certification in the US, so it was successful. I can't really say that I want to go back and listen to it. I always liked the first three songs the best, which is Eye for an Eye, No Hope Nor Fear, No Hope equals No Fear. I believe that's what it's titled. Yes. Had to double check that, and then Bleed, which has Fred Durst and DJ Lethal from Limp Bizkit. I mean, what would it be, what would new metal be without features, right? And they feature Chino Marino on this album, and actually the next album, Primitive, has him on it as well. Corey Taylor's on that album too. You could say the same shit about that album as you could this one. Benji from Skindred's on this as well. I almost forgot about that. Or as well, excuse me. It's tribal new metal, man. That's the thing that Soulfly has going for them, is they have some tribal and some world music influence, which is unique. They are also probably second to Slipknot, the most angsty, pissed off, aggressive band on this list. They're very heavy, definitely more on the metal side of new metal than a lot of these bands. Not a whole lot of hip hop influences there. This is fresh in my head, and I Go and see, man. They're while they have potential, it didn't really go anywhere, dude. Their first two albums are really the only new metal thing. Apparently, the latest album they released is two. I haven't listened to it, so that's on me. I'm not gonna take that into consideration. And they turned into like a more of a thrashy, groovy band, if I recall, kind of more in tune with the Sepultura before they became new metally and changed the lineup and everything. So yeah, dude, they're kind of average to me. They had like I said, the first album did all right, made some money, but nothing crazy enough to really get them out of C. Yeah, C's a good place for them. Another new metal band that's kind of been lost in the shuffle that never got a ton of success that I'm aware of. Spineshank, one of the more industrial bands on the list. They had a couple of kick-ass songs. I remember being pretty fond of Violent Mood Swings when I was a kid. They have New Disease. I think they have a song called Symptomatic. They got 4 albums out. I've actually never listened to an entire one. I've only ever heard the songs. I don't have a strong opinion on them. I mean, I like the few songs I know, but I don't think they're anything crazy. They're kind of just run-of-the-mill industrial new metal, so they're going to go and see. You know, I almost fucking forgot about Stain. I don't know how, because they're one of the most popular bands on this list. But I did for some god knows fucking forsaken reason I don't know. So they're going to be controversial most likely, because Aaron Lewis, for one, is a actually fairly popular country singer now, and he says a lot of political shit similar to Kid Rock, but we're here to talk about new metal motherfuckers, so you're going to have to keep your aneurysms under control, because we're still going to talk about him. Now, Stain was actually one of the first bands I think I heard on this list, and I heard It's Been a While on the radio a ton of times. I heard what's it called, Right Here, which is more of a post-grunge song, because they turned into post-grunge later on in their career. We'll get to that on the radio. So I've heard them for the bulk of my life. Got family that likes them, friends that like them. Yeah, so kind of been around Stain my whole life. Stained is a they have quite the story as to how they came about. To give you a little bit of background here. Their debut album is called Tormented. It's not Dysfunction, actually. That's their second album. Tormented is officially their debut. It's a pretty rare find these days, and it's a pretty valuable collector's item, too, if I'm not mistaken. It's worth a pretty penny. It's a very, very dark, heavy, grungy new metal album. You can find it on YouTube if you're interested. I'm pretty sure it's not on Spotify. One of my favorite stories in new metal, as I was going to get to here, is how this band got signed. So, none other than the new metal legend, the red cap wearing Fred Durst, went to go see Stained, and he saw the cover of Tormented, as in the album cover, and he thought this band were Satanists, because the album cover is pretty fucking edgy, to put it lightly. And he wanted them kicked off the bill, believe it or not. They ended up playing anyway, and Fred was so impressed that he signed them to Flip Records right there, if I'm not mistaken. So that is one hell of a way to get a record deal. Fucking crazy, man. Fred Durst signing you, and Fred would collab with them later on a song called Outside, which was more of a post-grunge song or acoustic song that was new metal, but still, the features get them points, you know. That's just common in new metal. So I owned Dysfunction when I was in high school. That was kind of their breakthrough album. You know, got some of their songs got on the radio. It did well. 2 times platinum in the U.S. 2 million copies, that is. Sold pretty well elsewhere. They had songs like Mud Shovel, Home, Spleen. Had some fucking great riffs on that. So my only problem with this album was it was like, even as a high school kid, it was just too goddamn whiny for me, man. It was so like self-pitying, and I just couldn't get into it. Like, aside from those 3 songs, I remember the titles of the songs. I kind of remember how they go in my head, but like I still struggle to go back to it. The album is just too fucking whiny, man. It's a shame, because Aaron Lewis is good at conveying emotion. The dude is a genuinely fantastic singer. There's a cover of a Nutshell that he does on YouTube. You should look this up. Nutshell's Alice in Chains song, for those of you who don't know. And he fucking nails it. And that is not an easy song to cover. Like, he's got some serious fucking chops. Seriously, check it out. I know it's not new metal, but it doesn't matter. Just do yourself a favor, check it the fuck out. So, I was always like, damn, man. I mean, he's singing country now, so it also shows he's versatile. The dude's got some fucking chops, legit chops. He's one of the best singers out of any of like any of the bands that are here. He's definitely one of the best. I'll give him that, and that's something Stain has going for him. Break the Cycle, technically their third album. That was their big fucking hit. That had It's Been a While on it, which I'm sure probably everyone here knows. That was a very popular song. It's been probably one of the biggest freaking, I guess if you want to call it new metal, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of that, and this is what Stain did with Break the Cycle, is they were kind of similar to Smile Empty Soul, a hybrid of post-grunge and new metal, and they did a very good job of it. I'm not going to lie. I was never huge on it. I actually like their post-grunge material better when they switch styles. I know a lot of people are going to probably pound their keyboards and punch their fucking screen for me saying that, but I think they were better at that. I think Aaron's voice suits it a lot better too. Anyhow, I mean, that song, freaking It's Been a While, is one of the biggest fucking rock songs of the fucking 2000s, period. It still gets a lot of play. I've still heard it on radio a couple of times. Like I said, they've never been one of my favorites. I do like some of their songs, and I think their post-grunge stuff is pretty good. But I can't ignore how fucking successful they were. 5 times platinum in the U.S. Break the Cycle wins 5 million copies. Sold well on other countries too. If we're counting their self-titled album, really cool cover. By the way, it's like a fucking, it's like a purple like fucking ooze blob dude that's got like 8 like hands, and he's like, it's almost like he's a spider. That album kicks ass. That I actually genuinely like that album to this day. They got Not Again on it, Eyes Wide Open, The Bottom, which I think was in like one of the Transformers movies. To get a little pop culture bonus for that. That was really good. And there's a song called Wannabe that's like the most new metal thing they've ever done, where Aaron is fucking rapping in the song. And he is literally rapping about keyboard warriors living in their parents' basements, doing funny things that men do. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to get fucking striked or anything, or fucking get my shit taken down. So he's got a good sense of humor too. It's pretty funny to listen to it. Check that song out. I will not put them S, because I personally just don't like them that much. I do like them, but not S. They're very successful. They're one of the most successful bands on here. Not as successful as some of the guys we got in S there. They're going to go to A. They were kind of comparable to like Papa Roach and P.O.D, I would say, with success. So if we were doing this strictly on success, you'd probably have like Kid Rock, Korn, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, just off of album sales. Probably Evanescence too. Probably would be your top tier, the ones that have moved a shitload of albums, right? I'm gonna say that like P.O.D, Papa Roach, and then Stain would fit in there. Probably that tier right below them. Like they're almost there, but they're not quite. They're still big though. Still had some big hits. So A is going to be a good spot for Stain there. S, easily. Alright, this is kind of one that's getting in here just because I fucking love this band. They're still popular, don't get me wrong, we'll get into that. Dude, I have been on a fucking Static X kick for like 3 weeks now, so part of this is recency bias, I guess. But I just picked up The Machine at a store. That's their second album. Fucking kicks ass. I've been listening to Wisconsin Death Trip, which that's their first album, their most popular album, sold a million copies in the U.S. The big song off of it, Push It, got certified gold in the U.S. That's 500,000 copies sold. So successful album. Machine got gold. I don't remember if I just said that or not. Dude, Wisconsin Death Trip is just fucking goddamn such a good album. So Static X is very, very good at less is more, which is good in new metal. Because new metal's not the most, complex genre. They're a very simple band, very simple song structure, simple riffs, drumming, everything, very simple. They're also, they kind of have more industrial elements in there. There's one of those more industrial bands in this list. They refer to their music as evil disco, and if you listen to it, you'll understand, because there's like some dancey, disco-y, bouncy elements to their music. They're a fun band. Still very heavy. Most of the lyrics are screamed. Rest in peace, Wayne Static. That's the lead singer / one of the guitarists of the band. Passed away, and I should probably check that. 2014, excuse me. Fucking rest in peace. The dude was so good live. I never got to see him live, but I watched clips on YouTube. Man, he fucking nailed it. He had such a unique voice. He has such a rough, coarse voice. even when he's not screaming and he's singing, he still almost sounds like he's screaming because his voice is so fucking rough. It is so cool to listen to. It fits the music so well. The dude's also he had one of those, what do you call it, a chin tail beard. You'd have to look up. It's like that beard style that there's like a bunch of beads in it and there's just like one long strand of it. He had that, and his hair was literally fucking like vertically held up, which I guess took him like 45 minutes to gel and do. The dude fucking like new metal to the fucking max. The look, he had it. Not that that matters, but the music, I adore Static X. They have so much good shit. You should check them out if you haven't. I'm sure probably everyone on here probably has listened to Static X. They're kind of a staple of the genre. They reformed with the singer of Dope, I think, and now they play live. They're touring and stuff. They released 2 albums post Wayne's death that had some material that they had recorded called Project Regeneration, Volumes 1 and 2. They're both great. I prefer the first one. Personally, there's some great stuff on there. Just a couple of songs off the top of my head that are really good. Black and White is fucking awesome. It's such a, man, it reminds me of like a fucking like a supervillain theme or something. Listen to this, you'll see what I mean. It's a cool song. They almost have like a comic-y like element to their music. You gotta listen to it. I don't know how to explain it. Cannibal's a great album. The song Cannibal is really good too. They have an album that they went kind of like more radio-y called Shadow Zone that's like fine, but I wouldn't recommend that. Listen to their other shit. Start a War I owned as when I was in high school. Start a War is pretty fucking good. The song titled I Want to Fucking Break It. I remember somebody playing that in the fucking field house when I was in high school and we were working out after a practice. That song gets you pumped the fuck up. That's a fantastic new metal song. I can't fucking praise Static X enough. They're a fucking phenomenal band. Please do yourself a favor to look them up if you haven't. Yeah, they're easy yes for me. I fucking love these guys. You're probably wondering, what the fuck is Sugar Ray doing on a new metal list? Well, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, they have 2 fucking new metal albums, dude. Granted, they're kind of new metal albums, but they're there. The song Fly got pretty big, but that was more of a reggae rock song than it was new metal. There's not really anything fucking memorable about it. Like, it's kind of like funky, bouncy new metal, their new metal shit. Their first album called Lemonade and Brownies, what a fucking title there. It's like funky new metal, a little bit of rapping in it. There's some goofy song titles. I don't even know if I can read some of these. They're kind of stupid and self-aware. I'll give them that. There's one called like Rhyme Stealer, one called The Greatest, one called Dance Party USA. There's one I don't know if I can read. One called Scuzz Boots, whatever that is. Straker. I'm just reading this shit here. Fucking goofy. The album's like fine. It's pretty average, I would say. Remember RPM being okay off of their second album titled Floor, which was their last new metal album, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one that Fly was on. Fly was the big song. Then they became like a pop rock band. Nothing crazy going on here. They're just gonna go to System of a Down is the last of the true juggernauts on this list. They're also the only, I hope I'm going to pronounce this right, Armenian band that I'm raking. They're the only one on this list. They are known for their political lyrics. They wear that on their sleeve. They're a very big political band, but I don't think any of the stuff they say is really cancel worthy. The things that they say are pretty mainstream, I would say. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's never really bothered me in the music. Always liked them. Their self-titled debut, obviously called System of a Down, was fucking crazy. I've never heard anything like it to this day. Very chaotic, experimental. It had a very unsettling atmosphere that always made it stand out. One of my favorite songs off of that album is Spiders. It had a very eerie, haunting, menacing type of atmosphere to it, and really showed, how unique this band was. Serge, I hope that's how you pronounce his name, he's a very talented vocalist. The dude has all sorts of different styles. He can go from singing, screaming, almost like a theatrical delivery, like a larger than life type of style. I don't know how to explain it. Listen to it. The dude sounds like he's fucking crazy, like he's on meth or something. It doesn't really sound that forced either the majority of the time. Then after that, we had Toxicity, which was an absolute monster of an album. 6 times platinum, meaning 6 million copies sold in the US. And then songs like Chop Suey, Toxicity, Aerials, all great songs, were like monumentally successful songs and like some of the biggest like metal songs, rock songs, whatever you want to call them, of the era. They're still getting a ton of fucking play today. Chop Suey also has over 1 billion views on YouTube. The music video, that is. Which is just fucking insane. Genuinely insane. Another crazy accomplishment this band has is they released both Mesmerized and Hypnotized in 2005. And both albums debuted #1 on the Billboard 200. Which is an incredibly rare achievement. So props to them for that. They're one of the biggest fucking metal bands of the era that I grew up in. They're still pretty popular today. They still sell shit out. I've always liked them. They're never one of my personal favorites, but when you look at the influence, how original they are, the massive success that they've had, and the quality of their music, they can't really make any arguments or disagree with anybody, because we all know they belong in it. Now, what I was saying earlier about the Mount Rushmore here, that fourth band could be up for grabs. System of a Down is another band I think you could put in that fourth spot. You could interchange them with Slipknot, or who did I say? Deftones. Was that what? Yes. Okay, that's what I said. I didn't think about that. I forgot what I said earlier. This list has been long. Don't judge me. I mean, you can do what you want with that, but that's what I always thought. Limp Bizkit, Korn, and Linkin Park are givens, and you can change that with Deftones, Slipknot, or System of a Down. I do think a lot of people would pick System of a Down. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, they might be the more successful of the bands when it comes to Deftones, Slipknot, and them. They might be the most successful, actually. Anyway, oh, I'm gonna piss off a shitload of people. Taproot blows chunks. I cannot stand this band. I have tried to get into them. The vocalist is awful. He sounds like he's trying to be Lane Staley, but sucking at it. His voice does not fit the music. The music is pretty fucking bland too. I do not know why everyone likes them so much. I have never liked them. I have tried several times. So to their credit, they had a song called Poem that did okay. That's about it. None of their albums fucking sold well. I don't think that song really sold well either. It got kind of high on a chart or something. Now, another thing, right? This is how you know you fucked up, Taproot. Listen to this shit. Bro, Fred Durst, the Lord and Savior of nu metal himself, tried to get this band signed on a record. And they said, nah, fuck you, we're gonna go somewhere else. So, and I'm not gonna read it, you can look the whole thing up. Fred Durst left them a very unhappy voicemail on the vocalist, who goes by the name of Stephen Richards, voicemail. Who the fuck? Bro, you have disrespected the god of nu metal, Fred Durst. Your band obviously fucking blows if you did that. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? Anyway, genuinely, I don't like this band, and it's up to me. I put the shit where I want. I can't fucking stand Taproot. They're going in D. Alright, you're probably wondering, what the fuck is TFK? Is that a disease? No, it is not a disease. We are not ranking fucking diseases, my friends. We are ranking music. Anyway, 1,000 Foot Krutch would be the name of the band. That's who goes by TFK over here. They are one of the 2 Christian nu metal bands on this list, and they are from Canada. Honest to God, I listened to them a little bit back in the day when I was younger. Pretty fucking like run-of-the-mill generic nu metal. I feel like I've said that a bunch of times, but they're really nothing special. I hate to say it. They're probably decent dudes. I'm not really ranking them on that. I'm ranking them on the music. They're fine, but they're nothing really to write home about. Nothing really much to talk about other than they're Christian. You know, it's a bit of a spin on this. They got, they do in their earlier career, they're a little bit more heavier on the hip hop side of nu metal. Then that kind of changed, and they became more of an alternative nu metal type of thing. They do have a song called War of Change that got certified gold. So that's 500,000 copies sold in the U.S. Good on them. They got a successful song. Personally, I have had no desire to listen to them at all. Like I said, they're another one of those bands that for me was kind of like, I outgrew them, I guess. So, me, average. I don't really have much of an opinion. We'll go and see. We got the real laughing stock of this list, Trapped. I mean, I can't disagree. They're not very good. Would they have Headstrong that was cool when I was 12 and was in like some commercials or some shit? Fucking what was the fucking self-titled? They have a self-titled album, and was it called Trapped? Yes, it was, and that seemed to be the only successful thing that they did. Then they fell off. Fucking shocker. They're so run of the mill and boring, and like you fucking heard one song, you heard them all. They're going to D. I can't justify putting them in anything else, even though they had a good, I won't even say good, a successful song, a successful album. They fucking suck. They fell off big time. They're kind of controversial because the singer, whose name actually, funny enough, I'm pretty sure is Chris Brown, not the other Chris Brown, but this is a different Chris Brown. Chris Brown, whatever. Said some police. He has opinions that are political, and he makes fun of people. And as a society, we can't deal with that. We got to be offended. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, that's my thing, but whatever. No offended shit on this channel, man. So Trapped might be controversial for that. I don't really fucking care. That's not influencing my opinion of them. I just think they suck, so they're going to D. We got another sleeper band on here, a fucking Ultra Spank. So I discovered Ultra Spank by my man, who I shouted out earlier, Club Doom. So we go to this used game store. They got CDs and movies and consoles and comics and cool shit, right? Nerdy shit that we all like. So we hit that up from time to time. And we kept making the joke because there was an album, an Ultra Spank album. It was Progress, and we kept, we went a handful of times to this place, and it was there every fucking time, and we'd always look by it. We make a joke, oh, I bet that's some shitty new metal band. Well, like who else would call themselves Ultra Spank? So, time goes by. We pass through it, make our jokes, talk shit, whatever, and then we look it up one day, and we're like, yup, new metal band, surprise. And Club Doom, being a G that he is, he buys the fucking album. That's right. He manned up because one of us started making the joke. We should buy this. One of us should buy this, and just for the fuck of it, he buys it. We hang out or something like a couple days later, a week later, whatever the fuck. He's like, dude, that band was actually pretty good. I'm like, okay, if he's telling me this band's pretty good, I'm gonna believe him because normally when it comes to new metal, I think him and I have a fairly similar taste. So I put Progress on Spotify. I was like, holy fuck, this band's really fucking good. It's a shame they didn't really get anywhere. Like I said, sleeper pick, I should say. They were not successful, unfortunately. He had 2 albums. They have self-titled, which that's the debut, Ultra Spank, and then Progress came out 2 years later. Neither album did well, which fucking blows. They have a song called 5, which I'm pretty sure was off the self-titled. That was a pretty straightforward new metal banger. Still good though. It was in a video game called the 3 Extreme video game. I don't fucking know what that is. And then they have Click and Crumble from Progress, which were both good songs, and an ATV game. So it's been a while since I heard the self-titled. The self-titled was pretty basic new metal. So cool thing with them is they are the last band on this list that kind of leaned industrial. So like your Static X's of the world, it's another one that kind of leaned there. Your Spineshanks, those type of bands. Maybe Powerman 5000. They have industrial influence, but they were kind of bouncy. Or Ultra Spank was kind of like bouncy, dancey almost. They had a little good funk and groove to it. Like I said, excuse me, very underrated band. The singer, forget what the fuck his name is. He went on, I think, to join make like 2 other bands. Can't remember what they are at the moment. Progress, I always thought was a better album. Probably more radio friendly per se. Always really liked that album. I can't think of the name of the fucking song. Is it Stuck? It's either Stuck or Click. I don't want to play it right now. Excuse me, no. It was Where, the last song on the album, Where. Reminded me of Incubus a little bit. Kind of like a post-grungy, or not post-grungy, it reminded me like Drive. You remember Drive by Incubus? That's what it made me think of. So I got nothing bad to say about this band. I like them. I think they're very underrated. One of those what-if bands, maybe if they had gotten more exposure, what would they be? Only had 2 albums out. The singer, I can't fucking think of his name, had a really unique voice too. I used to think it was grungy. I don't know if that's quite the word. You need to check this band out. Do yourself a favor, look him the fuck up. See what I mean? He has a very unique style. It fits the music really well. They're a fun band too. I'm putting them an A, man. Just like the Snots, and the Design 19s, and even the Smile Empty Soul, because I really only had one album. It was new metal. We don't know what the fuck they could have been, man. They could have been a big fucking band if more success. So I like them. They're gonna go an A. Oh, here we go. More controversy. Why is Vanilla Ice in this list? He sucks. He's a fucking white rapper. He doesn't belong here. Motherfucker, did you know Vanilla Ice has, like, technically an album and a half that's new metal? Like, full-blown fucking new metal? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Vanilla Ice is on this list for good fucking reason. Now, is it good? We're gonna get to that. So, he had his big hit, Ice Ice Baby, that, unfortunately, while being very successful, went absolutely fucking nowhere. He fell the fuck off. So then he said, I'm gonna try my hand at new metal. Fucking wild, right? So his first new metal album, titled Hard to Swallow. He employs several people from different bands and shit. Just to list a couple here. Shannon Larkin, drummer of Godsmack. Keyboardist, Scott Borland. That is Wes Borland's brother, as in Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit, pretty certain. Then guitarist Sonny Mayo of Snot, and then he would later on go to play in Sevendust for a couple albums. So, a little bit of new metal twinge in here. The dude's definitely, he's taking it seriously. He's going all in. He worked with Ross Robinson as well. That's who produced this album, which was a big new metal producer. Honest to God, this album did not do very good. People shat all over it. It didn't chart. People still clown on it to this day. Brother, hot fucking take. Ready? I think this album goes hard as fuck, dude. He went all in. He took this shit seriously. I think it fucking works. It hits for me. This album I think is better than like half the fucking bands on this list. Truthfully. It helps that somebody who actually is a rapper and understands hip hop very well and can legitimately rap pretty well is doing this, because he sounds very good. He has like almost like a psychopathic pissed off rapping style he does throughout this, and it fits the music very, very, very well. It's very high energy, very dark, almost like Korn dark. That's what it makes me think of, kind of the eeriness. There's like little bits of like punky, funky shit in here. There's a song that I can't think of the fucking name of it. I need to look. Oh, the first song off the album, excuse me, titled "Living." Great song. The song structure of it, especially the guitars, remind me of My Name is Mud by Primus. I don't know why, but it always does. Y'all can tell me if I'm fucking crazy or not, if you heard this song or not. But I mean, there's some good fucking songs on here. The next song, Scars, is pretty good. He has a new metal cover of Ice Ice Baby titled Too Cold that actually hits really fucking hard. I was surprised. I thought I was going to clown on it. I thought it was very good. There's a song called Prozac. You can imagine that's fucking ridiculous, and it is, but it's a good ridiculous. That's the thing. He's pretty much playing up like the new metal stereotypes in here, I'm not gonna lie, but it's done well. So I fucking dig it, man. I think this album hits hard. So then the second half of the following album, I forget the name of, Bipolar. There you go. Bipolar fits the fucking the mood of the album really well, because it's half hip hop, it's half new metal. There's a song called Nothing Is Real, which was the first song I ever heard from him that was new metal. It's kind of more generic new metal, but it was okay. That one wasn't as good. People shout all over that one. But, I mean, he's got Hard to Swallow, which is the one I just fucking talked about that I thought was actually very good. So, is Vanilla Ice gonna go above some bands that people are gonna fucking get their panties in a twist over? There might be a possibility. He ain't going in D. I tell you that, he's not going in D. He's miles better than all these bands. That's right. Taproot and Cold Chamber. You're taking a backseat to fucking Vanilla Ice, whether you like it or not. He's more. I think he's going in B, dude. He's going in fucking B. Does not have success. People clown on him. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's my opinion. Hard to Swallow was fucking good. It's more interesting than all these fucking bands on C. So yeah, B, dude. I recommend Hard to Swallow. You should check it out. You guys will probably give me shit for it, or somebody's going to. I'm telling you, check it out. Give it a fucking fair listen. You can clown on me if you want, but I think Vanilla Ice took the shit seriously, and it showed. I thought it was very well done. Holy mother of motherfucking motherfuck. I don't know what that means, but we are on our last band of the motherfucking list. Vended. Vended is a band that was formed in 2018, so they're a little bit more modern. They're the last modern band on the list. Well, fucking the last band in general, I guess. So, the singer of this band is the son of Corey Taylor. His name's Griffin. And the drummer of this band is the son of the clown in Slipknot. What's his name? Sean Ray Crahan, I think it is. Name is which is the one of the custom percussionists in the band. Dude's name is Simon. So, very fucking heavy Slipknot influence. Honestly, I would just call him fucking. I don't want to call him dollar store Slipknot because that sounds like it's being derogatory. I actually think they're pretty good. They are not original at all. They literally are. You know what? Yeah, it's kind of. I don't mean this in a bad way because I do like them. I do think they're good. They're pretty much just Slipknot light. That's their sound. All their songs. That is exactly what they are. There's really not much else to say. I don't think they. I mean, they got solid plays on Spotify. Nothing crazy. I've never heard them on the radio. They don't have any certifications. Not a whole lot of. Are they successful or not? I don't really know. They're still making music. They've been making music for fucking since 2018, so I'm guessing they're doing decently well. I can't really find anything actually on the sales, but I like them. But they are literally Slipknot light. You heard Slipknot. You heard them. They're just Slipknot with less band members, honestly. I think there's only 4 people in this band, so they're a little bit more of a simpler Slipknot, but that's exactly what they sound like. They're gonna go and be. God motherfucking damn, we did it, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. We have completed the ultimate fucking new metal list. We have, I want to say, 54? 54 or 54. I don't want to go and count. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Did you think it's a good list? Do you think I ranked them fairly? Do you think I maybe snorted some cocaine and then made the list and I fucked it up? I don't know, man. I'm looking at this here. I think this is a pretty fucking good list. I think the explanations make sense. It didn't turn out to be a straight up popularity test, which is good, although the popularity definitely helped them, and that was something that I had to think about. But there are some bands in here that are not where you would think they would be. So, I'm pleased with the list. Let me know your thoughts if you're watching this. Like, what do you think I should change around? Did you think I made an unfair criticism? Did you like something that I did? Did you think I explained it really well? Do you really agree with maybe some of the rankings? Maybe you don't. Whatever it is, you let me know. I thank everyone that is watching this, or has watched this rather. You've stuck around throughout this. If you skip around, I don't fucking care. Thank you for supporting me and watching this. This was my longest video so far. Took me a while to fucking make this. I did not do this in one setting. I fucking bless anybody's soul that can do this. It was a little mentally exhausting, but I got through it. I enjoyed myself doing this. I wanted to do this for a while. You know, what better way to fucking come back than put a nice long tier list out there. So again, thank you everybody for watching. This is Dread. I will be back at some point doing something else. I don't know what. I do think if this does good, I might do a tier list next year just to see if my opinions change. I'm sure they will. But again, cannot thank you all enough. Stay tuned for more. See you again at the next video. For the 20th time, thank you all again. And this is Dread signing out.